we approach the end of the season to see how things will shake up in these remaining 2 qualifiers.
Most definitely. Now, right now, we're waiting on our first teams of the day. As you mentioned, go with Clark Coy versus Splat Factory. I believe we're in Division 4. Still an exciting game. I'm pretty sure it's going to be regardless of the division, but just a little bit of a more knowledge check in the background. But first up, I'm pretty sure we know our maps for this game coming up here. The first one's going to be Splat Zones on Marlin Airport. I don't know this map mode at all. I'm going to be completely honest.
Yeah, and notably, Clark Coy has not won a Splat Zones game so far this season. So, advantage to Splat Factory right off the bat. We'll see if Clark Coy is able to come back and pull out that first win, but Splat Factory, you got to be feeling pretty confident heading into the start of this match.
Yeah, I really have I don't have any expectations as to like what the map mode might bring for these teams. I don't really know it that well to try and sort of speculate what we might be seeing. I mean, not a lot of people really like Marlin Airport in the first place, from what I know, but it's on the lineup, and I respect the choice regardless. But here we are in game number 1, set number 1. I'm excited to see what's gonna be happening here on this kickoff.
Teams roll out similar comps in terms of range from each side. Not a snipe rider on one side and no true backliner on the side of Splat Factory as they head into mid for the first contest of zone. A lot of orange paint being thrown to start out, and Clark Coy is able to take control to start off game 1.
As you mentioned, that range control might be integral here with the sniper sitting on that top high ground. It might be hard for Splat Factory to be able to push up properly, but as I say that sniper rider does go down. 2 down for Clark Coy. Splat Factory holds on and manages to get this zone without too much difficulty.
And now they're in an interesting position because they have the zone, but not a whole lot of paint around it. Trying to recover, really establish control over mid, and start their lockout. Clark Coy now pushing up using that fan platform and the right side of the map, and they are able to take control from approaching that way. And look on this roller for Splat Factory, he goes down, they go down, and now the 3 dead on the side of Splat Factory. Clark Coy pushing up, looking to lock them out.
The amount points to Clark Coy as they're getting closer to that lead swap once again. That they're just going in. This 52 is just going on the deep end on the front line, pushing them back as far back as they can. And they were some of Splat Factory were trying to recap it from behind Clark Coy, but it wasn't enough. And now they're player down once again, who are struggling to retake zone.
Clark Coy maintaining player's advantage, and they get a wipeout here. They've been able to hold zone for a while now, and now they're pushing up, able to establish control of that fan platform. It's making it really difficult for Splat Factory to get out of their spawn and into the zone.
And they're in a real dangerous situation right here. Splat Factory needs to get out of that zone as fast as they can in order to contest it, or else they're going to lose this game with only 2 players on Clark Coy's side to defend the zone. It might just be enough to take that game away, and they do take that game number 1 off of Splat Factory.
That wipeout made it too hard for Splat Factory to come back and take the win. They had the push so far, they were stuck so far in their base, and they just didn't have enough time left on the clock to reach the zone and cap it. So Clark Coy takes game 1.
And I will say, you mentioned earlier in the first game that the range might be a little bit difficult for Splat Factory to deal with, and I think that exactly was their biggest weakness here. This Snipe Rider did so much work with Pink and keeping Splat Factory pushed back far enough that they weren't able to contest it long enough, and with that wipeout near the end right here, that really was their death sentence at this point. There was much they couldn't do to push past that Snipe Rider.
There really wasn't. You can see Demo trying to go around, coming up along the fan, but it is too little too late. Clark Coy able to just retreat, stand in the zone, and keep it painted orange to knock it out.
What a good first game this set has done, and now I'm eager to see exactly what adjustments might Splat Factory be making here on this game number 2, which we'll be heading into. I can see it real quick. Clamblitz on Mako Mart. Mako Mart Clams is, I think it's a classic. I see a lot of people.
I love Mako Clams.
Yeah, it's a very exciting map mode. I'm very excited to see this.
And you really have 3 different ways to approach the basket on Mako Mart. You can go around to the left or right or up the middle. You can push over the stack and jump and throw it in. And so it's a very varied map, and it'll be interesting to see which of those routes these teams tend to like or find more effective in this game too.
Absolutely, and definitely too with Clark Coy. I'm pretty sure that Sniper Rider is going to come back once again here. That pencil is just such a menace with all these ledges and just the such wide range of control it can have on certain platforms. If Splat Factory doesn't have the proper answer they bring out the proper tool to answer the Sniper Rider, I don't think this game is going to be. It's not going to be much of a difficulty for Clark Coy just to be able to control and dominate on. They need to have something for that Sniper Rider if it comes back anyways.
Yeah, I agree. They need to be able to force the Sniper Rider out of position, and maybe that means a more ranged tool or a disruption tool like continuously poking or Toxic Mist or something to force that Sniper Rider out of position and force him to not have so much control over the middle of the map.
I was going to mention here, some blasters are viable here as we see that not the range, just the vanilla blaster come out from Clark Coy with a few interesting weapons over on Splat Factory as well. Not only do we see the dually squelches, but as well as the cold arrow spray, and one does go down immediately from Clark Coy without being traded back from Splat Factory.
Yeah, 3-2 on the head on players to start the match for Splat Factory. Your dad looking at the Sniper Rider, being forced back, retreating, trying to gain some clams, gain some paint, as we still scuffle in the middle. Splat Factory forms the first power clam of the game, but doesn't really have an opportunity to push at the moment, and they are down to players. And Weird One on the Slosher makes a great move to find the pick on the power clam carrier, but is taken down by the Splat Factory.
Right now we're at a little bit of a stalemate between these two teams. They're desperately trying to get that clear-cut advantage over the other in order to get that push going. Both teams are surprisingly have a relatively equal in clans, but as I say that, 3 goes down for Splat Factory. Clark Coy just cleans up and manages to get the first few points on the scoreboard, and they're looking to extend that lead as wide as they can.
Played white for Clark Coy allows them to open up the basket, get the first score of the game, and try to get a few more in, but Splat Factory comes back, plays some excellent defense, and quickly retakes the middle of the map. Void, though, gets behind and scores a few extra clams to keep this push alive for Clark Coy. Now in a difficult position, able to stay alive and find a kill before going down in themselves.
Damage is too big right now for Splat Factory. They're eager to get that push going once 2 players were down, but they left their backlines wide open, and now they are forced to slow down and have to hold on to mid as best they can, but holding on to mid is not something they're good at right now. As 3 goes down once again. Clark Coy just pressing the pass down on the pedal, and they keep going and going and going.
Yeah, they keep finding ways to control mid, winning the fights and taking space, enabling them to score more and more. They're already below 50 to go, and they keep adding more. Awesome, trying to keep this push going. Void runs in with a few more clams to add to their total. Down to 37 remaining, with a player on the right side who finds a pick on the defense. Clark Coy has a lot of control. They have multiple painted routes to the basket. They're going to be looking to knock it out with this push, but they have no clams. Only 19 remaining, though. A huge advantage for Clark Coy here.
This is a very sticky situation for Splat Factory. Clark Coy has such a huge tempo control right now, being able to play however they want, forcing Splat Factory to be the ones to make the mistakes that Clark Coy can abuse, as we see right now. Clark Coy is not letting any room go. They're having this such a dominant control over mid, and just keeping this momentum going, not giving Splat Factory any room to regroup or to recenter themselves, as they're looking to try and get the power plant to the basket, and once again.
Yes, and Clark Coy being able to avoid 1v1s, always having multiple players in the fight against one player's Splat Factory. That's how they keep winning these fights, and they get another push in using the other route going up the top left side to knock that power clam in, and now only a few clams out from knocking out with a 3-man player advantage.
Splat Factory doing whatever they can to do to try and hold on to this game for as long as they can, but with a wipeout right there at the end, this could be game right then and there. Without any contest, Clark Coy takes game number 2 over Splat Factory.
Everyone knocks in 2 final clams to seal in the deal for Clark Coy. Take this set. We will play the game 3, but Clark Coy 100-0 on Mako Mark Clam Blitz to win the first match of the day.
What a dominant showing Clark Coy did right now. Splat Factory had no room to breathe once the ball got going for Clark Coy. It was very spectacular to see. I do want to see. You know, Splat Factory did an amazing job holding up for as long as they did. It just wasn't enough at the end of the day against Clark Coy. But with that being said and done, this is still not it for Splat Factory. Even though they did technically lose the set, as per usual with these circuits, this is a play all 3. So they still have one more chance to try and get a game off of Clark Coy to get, hopefully, remedy some points off of them.
One thing I want to point out about that last game is Clark Coy attacked. They had multiple instances where they got a player around the defense of Splat Factory to get some extra points. That one by Void towards the beginning of the game to keep a push going. When Splat Factory had retaken mid, Void got behind and started scoring and forced them backward. And was able to get his team the space they needed to earn more map control. And then the score that eventually sealed it, Void going up around or not Void this time, it was another Clark Coy player, makes a move to the upper left side of the map and pushes along that route and scores from there. And Clark Coy, they had the clams and they won the fights that they needed to end the game on that particular push.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will say definitely the Splatoon Stamper, I would like to call it their Clark Coy's MVP for that game. They did such huge work in order to crack Splat Factory wide open to give Clark Coy the path they need in order to score such huge amount of points and just keeping that momentum going. That was such a phenomenal play from them, from not only getting that first opening, but also that Zipcaster too, a really good Zipcaster play.
It's excellent towards the end of the game with the Zipcaster to open up yet another score. And Clark Coy, they're playing together really well. You see players helping each other in the fights. They're not taking 1v1s. It's always 2 or 3 Clark Coy players take out that one Splat Factory player. And the team gameplay is really, really working well for Clark Coy.
And now we're going to see exactly what Splat Factory is going to be doing to try and at least knock off one game off of Clark Coy in order to get some few extra points here on game number 3. Rainmaker. I do love me some Rainmaker games, as we see both these teams are making headway to that Rainmaker pop to see who gets popped. Of course, Clark Coy gets the first pop.
But they go down 2 players. Turf advantage for Clark Coy, but player advantage for Splat Factory here. It's just Weird One alive. That'll be a delayed wipe. Splat Factory has a big chance to push here. Can Demo get to this checkpoint before being taken down? No, it wasn't painted all the way. But still dunks it before Void's able to take him down.
That first checkpoint actually is very huge for Splat Factory, getting it off so early. Clark Coy means they're going to be very mindful against any future pushes at this point, where they could easily just shave off a few extra points if Splat Factory ever gets the Rainmaker once again. But Clark Coy now in position of the Rainmaker, looking to try and get it at least out of that corner of the map.
Do a player advantage, but Splat Factory sending 2 specials right at Weird One, being forced well into the corner and taken down by the last remaining player of Splat Factory. That'll stall them out for now and allow Splat Factory to reset and defend for this upcoming Clark Coy push.
It looks like this Rainmaker from Clark Coy is going on that right side. The right side is known to be a bit of the faster, if not the more riskier way to go about this push. And now with Speed Shreds coming in to clear the space and onto the Killer Well, they're looking to get that Rainmaker keep on going, get that extra points as fast as they can. Only lead taken, and they keep on going. Tactical at the ready to hopefully create more space for that Rainmaker. And they get 26 points. They're counting down to 9 off that one push.
A lot of space to work with Clark Coy had there. They earned a lot of paint from that Rainmaker pop by putting it there, and keeping Splat Factory really backed up allowed them to paint their way forward, get the Rainmaker all the way down to 9 remaining. Splat Factory resets the Rainmaker but gets wiped out. That reset will be huge to keep them alive in this game. Void having to go all the way back to the center of the map to retake the Rainmaker.
beautiful spacing control from Clark Koi in order to get that Rainmaker down to 9 points remaining. Now, even though Clark Koi has 2 players remaining on their team, they don't have anyone Kentucky to slow them down in front of them, but they can from behind, stopping that push right on the base before any more damage can be done. And now Splat Factory has the Rainmaker in position. They're looking to move up mid, looking to try and push anyone out who are looking to stop that Rainmaker immediately.
They got the wipeout, and now they're able to play some offense. This 3 versus 2 on the top, great. And Clark Koi is able to find the kill on the Rainmaker and temporarily end this push from Splat Factory. They find a couple other kills, and now Clark Koi has the player advantage. They leave the Rainmaker where it is and just take turf advantage, hoping to lock Splat Factory out of their side of the map.
2 minutes remaining in this game. 52-point differential between these two teams. Splat Factory has a mountain to climb if they want to get this game, and it all starts with maybe this first pick, this first 2 picks from Majesty as they get a triple. The hammer canceled along with it. That Rainmaker pop huge and integral right then and there for these ties to shift in favor for Splat Factory as they're looking to go on this right route and on the grades in order to shave off extra points as fast as they can, just like Clark Koi did to them.
2 kills from the Zuka, 1 from the Rainmaker pop, and now Splat Factory has the Rainmaker. They try to push up, but they get stuck on the grates behind an orange splash wall and are forced to drop the Rainmaker and leave it in orange paint.
Up now, this last minute pressure's building for Splat Factory. They're doing whatever they can to try and get the picks they need in order to clear out the Rainmaker so they can take that lead, hopefully by any means necessary. But now 2 players only left standing for Splat Factory right now as Clark Koi has a Rainmaker in possession, but 3 go down. It's just the Rainmaker left, and this could be the key that Splat Factory needs in order to take this game away.
Delayed wipe for Splat Factory. Ross on the first line of defense throws out that splash wall that has been causing problems for Splat Factory all game. The Zuka, though, trying to find some picks, helps Splat Factory get a way in with the Rainmaker. They are fighting on these grates. Spear keeping them at bay with the well string. And the Booyah Bomb coming in, hoping to earn more paint, hoping to earn some space to run the Rainmaker through. Tri-strike from the side of Clark Koi, keeping it back with under 30 seconds to go. Demo makes a run for it, but there are 2 Clark Koi players there to collapse on him.
There's a path there for Splat Factory to take this game now, but as we head into the final moments of this game, things seem to be falling apart. Clark Koi has possession of the Rainmaker, and they're looking to play as defensively as they can, even going to a do not retreat zone in order to make sure that Splat Factory does not get a chance to get this Rainmaker in with a clean-cut victory. Clark Koi takes his game to 3-0 over Splat Factory.
Excellent defense from Clark Koi in that game. They got an early push to 9 with about 3.5 to 4 minutes left in the game, and Splat Factory, they had their chances, but it was the splash wall coming out from the 52 gal and the constant barrage of explosive rockets from the well string that made it impossible for Splat Factory to push across the grate on this top right section of the map.
A huge shout out to Splat Factory for doing what they did this game, but it just wasn't enough against the mightiness of Clark Koi cleaning this game up with a clean 3-0. A wonderful job from Clark Koi, but of course without any props for Splat Factory for doing what they did, and a fun set all around.
An excellent match. We get to start off this. We're starting off the day strong, and can't wait to see what the rest of this 4th qualifier brings us, but beginning off strong with a great performance by Clark Koi to get a 3-0 win over Splat Factory.
Absolutely, and with that first set of this game, we have a long day ahead of us here, folks, so don't go anywhere just yet. Get your water, get the bathroom break, get the snacks. We'll be right back after this break with our set number 2 here at the circuit.
'cause we'll start falling, 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 'cause we'll start falling, 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 'cause we'll start falling. Yeah, we said we let it go, but we settled for the last. Couldn't let you want it though. Who am I to let you down? No, who am I to let you down? Down, if you let me walk away, maybe then we'd lose it all. No. Who am I to let you
Inside lane, missing exits, glued to the pavement. Between the lines, I'll keep my gaze straight ahead as the last stop flies by. No more waiting for the gun to fire. No more walking through revolving doors. I've gone around once, and I don't need to go around anymore. Break away, forget your sober case. Stop dwelling on empty words. Stop stalling in the doorway and cancel the cruise control. Switch it in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right? Full steam through the setbacks. You can't win them all, but I'm proud I tried. I'm glad we had a dialogue. It's good to shape the mind. Speeding up the pace, turning up the heat. Where I need to be for the first time. I'm taking risks. I'm casting off without a lifeline. Break away, forget your sober case. Stop dwelling on empty words. Stop stalling in the doorway and cancel the cruise control. Switch it in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right again? Don't you wanna feel whole? Don't you?
With the CCA Circuit action heating up, we are very excited to announce that the Asus ROG is a sponsor of the CCA Circuit. Their eSprouts initiative is giving the CCA Circuit pricing support to our top teams for the season, and we're happy to have them join them as our pricing sponsor. You can find more about their Elite Esports program by typing in !Asus in Twitch chat. Thank you, Asus ROG, for their support for the Collegiate Splatoon scene. And with that being said and done, chat, we're right back with this next set. My name's SVF Dark. I'm joined with Golrick, and we're bringing you game number 2 for our circuit qualifier number 4.
Swiss round number 2. This time we're bringing you the match between Griffink from William and Mary and VCU Spirality from Virginia Commonwealth University. And looking at the past their performances so far, it looks like VCU Spirality has a big upper hand over Griffink, just looking at their win rate. So it would be a big upset if Griffink's able to take the win in this set.
I mean, as well on top of that, there is a bit of a school resonance here. Spirality being one of the team's sister to big names, Big Fat Sea Cows. So there is a bit of a little bit of an underdog situation going up against Griffink here, but I am still excited regardless about what the outcome might be as to how these teams will perform as well. As we hear set number 2, we'll be going up against Splat Zone's Maryland Airport as our first game.
I believe that was...
I cannot.
That was last set, my friend. We are starting...
Qualifier number 3. That's my bad.
That was last round. We are starting this set with tower control on Barnacle and Dime.
You are right on that. I was looking at the last qualifier number 3's map list for that one. Excuse me, folks. We're right. Tower control, Barnacle, Dime. This is a map mode I don't really see much of. I am excited to see it get used, and I am very much more excited to see that range blaster come out and play.
The range blaster is a big threat. It's very hard to deal with when it has the right spacing. When it's just the right distance away from the opponent that needs to be, it can deal a lot of damage, put a lot of pressure out, and it can become aggressive really quickly by turning into a Kraken.
And speaking of range and pressure, we do have the Decapitator going on out from Griffink, a weapon that's been known to harass people who don't really know how to properly play against it, as well as using this long dashing range to advantage to get around corners, something that the Range Master might struggle going up against. As we see here, Spirality getting first control of the tower and looking to skirmish as best they can to push that lead as far as they can, but no, Griffink is holding on strong, and the blaster is gaming right now as they manage to get the pick off of that platform.
Neutral game so far, but Griffink is able to reach the first checkpoint, and they have paint in front of it. They're going to be able to get past checkpoint 1. After that, they're forced off by a tri-strike, and VCU Spirality now is looking to retake. He gets the kill with the decap and moves into mid. Finds another pick. They're up 4-1 on players. They're going to be able to start a push of their own here.
And I will say here on Barnacle Dime Tower Control, this first checkpoint really, it genuinely is meaningless. The first checkpoint is almost always going to go down regardless of what the game state currently is. Really, the high point here to be really looking forward to or looking out for is this areas leading in between the second checkpoint and the third checkpoint. That's going to be the hard point to try and push past and try to defend as best you can. And defend what they can is what Griffink did absolutely well right here. They managed to push out Spirality with their use of their specials and manage to create space and bring this to a sort of pseudo reset state right now.
No doubt that is going to be the most difficult spot to push through. It always is on this map mode. UCU Spirality has a notable advantage in terms of paint, but numbers are even and no one's on the tower, and we're continuing to fight for control here. Titanium on the range blaster looking to find a pick. The decap moves in and takes him down. Great move by the decap, but is collapsed on by the remaining 3 Griffink players.
As a Rage Blaster player, I know so well how volatile that matchup really is. If you don't hit that first shot, you will almost always go down to the decapitator. And that might be the downfall here for Griffink if they really don't have any use to use that Rage Blaster when it's going up against the decapitator. It opens up a lot of space for Sprout to be able to go in, especially with the dualies to clean up the work. 3 down for Griffink.
What a move by Hacks to take out the range blaster and another Griffink player. They give VCU Spirality a 4-1 advantage and allow them to retake mid and stop the Griffink push, but not before Griffink was able to take the lead in this game.
This game is so close right now. Only a 2-point differential between these two teams, and they're playing hard neck and neck right now. It could genuinely go either way. 2 minutes remaining on this game. Things are going to start heating up as pressure starts building in as we head towards the later half of this game. Spirality looking to push into this tower as far as they can, but Griffink's holding strong and defends the tower and prevents it from getting any much further.
Down 2-4, so Spirality has a chance to push up to the second checkpoint and take the lead, which they do. They're still up big. 4-1 on the map now. Hags finds a pick with his crab tank and forces Griffink far back in their base with a huge player advantage. They have a lot of paint. They have the path to the goal, and now it's just a matter of keeping Griffink at bay and letting the tower run all the way towards that goal. Only 3 picks left, and Spirality does knock it out to take game 1 over Griffink.
It's like I said, once you get past that area between the second and third checkpoint, it's very much a snowball point at that point. You gotta make sure you have that area well defended. VCU Spirality holding onto their pacing and played their cards right before they knew exactly when they had the advantage to actually finally push through here, and they managed to convert that to a knockout off this single push.
I think that crab from Hacks there is what really sealed the deal. They were able to find 2 picks when Griffink was already 1 down, establish a big advantage in the fight, and paint the tower's way, get it through that tough part that we mentioned earlier pretty easily because of that crab tank. And as you said, once the tower gets past that point on this map, it snowballs pretty quickly to knock it out.
I will say that duelist did put in the absolute work of that game, getting a triple on one of those pushes from Griffink, as well as just coming in clutch at the end there with that crab take. Beautiful usage of that weapon. I'm honestly always happy to see duelies get played, but historically it's been a very low pick rate until relatively recently. So seeing it get used like to this level at this success rate, it's honestly very good to see. But that's game number 2. We're heading on to game number 3, Zones and Hagglefish Market. You know it, you love it. We're going to be seeing what these teams are going to be doing on this tried and true fan favorite.
And Dark, that is the correct map mode this time. Good work. Zones on Hagglefish, completely different barnacle, more open, more of a route to either side that really goes around the middle of the map rather than just to the other side of the center. So it'll be interesting to see if the teams change up their comps accordingly or move around the side of the map, try to get behind and around the zone, attack from both sides.
I will say, this is going to be a little bit of a small shift for these teams. While there are points in the map that teams could use to try and snowball and like keep the momentum on the objective moving here, because it is a stationary objective. The key area here to hold out is that ramp leading onto into mid. If you can have very good control, attacking or defending of that ramp, you can lock the other enemy out depending on which side you are. So that's going to be very important to watch here as we see game number 2.
Griffink able to move into the splat zone first, get the first cap, but one of their players goes down. 2 now, and VCU Spirality is able to take the lead almost immediately, move up and start painting near that ramp that you mentioned is going to be a major choke point on Hagglefish zones.
Tactical or online meeting VCU has the area right now to go as aggressive as they can, and a very aggressive crab take into a reef slider is exactly what you want to see with Tactical on the ready right now. VCU Spirality using the absolute most they can with that special. Now that Tactical are trying to run out, they're choosing to slow back, to pull back just a bit to make sure they don't absolutely feed this integral point right here. Griffink using whatever they can to try and break through, but it might not be enough as there's only 25 ticks and counting.
Griffink having to use their specials just to get back into mid, not even contest the zone, just to get into mid. But they keep pushing, they keep trying, and they are able to fight their way all the way not only to the zone, but through it. And now they might be able to lock out Spirality for a minute. They have the player advantage, and they have the paint to do it.
This is a reversal of what we just saw now. We see exactly how well Griffink can hold on to this ramp. Spirality knowing exactly what they want to do and how they want to play. The bubbler being used amazingly well to give VCU Spirality some playing room to try and push back off, and they do manage to break through Griffink's hold, and they're holding at zone contestant, getting it almost immediately with that reef slider.
Couple specials used by Spirality to take that zone, brilliantly coordinated. The crab tank forcing Griffink players away from the zone, and the reef slider moving in to take it and stay alive after the reef slider, which doesn't always happen with that special. So now Spirality, they have the zone once again. They're looking to lock out Griffink, but Griffink with a tri-strike can contest the zone here.
One player down, Griffink, they didn't have the paint at the ready to try and reflip the zone, but with 2 now for Spirality, this game goes back into Griffink's control as they're moving in to try and flush out any remaining members of Spirality, but no! The junior gets a kill off the gal! What a surprising turn of events! This battle junior managed to stay strong as they had paint control, and they're looking to get this zone back in control once again. Both teams fighting desperately to maintain control, but they can't go with the reef slider, with the crab take. It's just too much for Griffink.
I still nearly able to find the pick inside the enemy bubbler, but now these dualies from VCU, both of them are able to find a couple picks. Hacks another double, a triple. Can he get the 4th? Not quite, and there it is, a quad for Spirality. They're able to lock out Griffink once again, and Griffink is gonna have to fight their way to get back into mid and contest the zone.
Hacks going on a rampage on Spirality, making sure that they don't have any time to try and potentially retake the zone. But there was one player enough to hold on to the zone for as long as they can, for as long as they did. And now Griffink is holding control of the zone with 48 points compared to Spirality's 60 points remaining. They have a bit of a hill to climb if they want to take away this game. And with 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining, this hill could be the thing that they die for as we head into these final few moments of this game.
Got a lot of orange paint up on that ramp, that choke point. Griffink has the paint advantage here, but as we've seen all game long, things can flip very, very quickly from one side being locked out to the other team being the one struggling to get back into mid. Now the zone hasn't been controlled by either team in a minute, and now Griffink able to take it, and with only 4 ticks now away from the lead, goes desperately trying to stop him from passing, but Griffink takes it. Now they've only got 10 ticks left, and they're holding the zone. They've got their specials out. and they are going to be able to knock out Game 2. Griffink comes from behind to win Hagglefish Zones over Spirality.
In a sudden shift of tides, Griffink comes in from the pretty much near the grave and manages to steal this game off of Spirality with an amazing just last minute hold. I gotta say, I definitely was not expecting this flip here at the end, but beautifully done for Griff Inc. Holding on for as long as they can, keeping their cool, not letting the pressure get to them, and steal this game right when it mattered.
And they had the push. They were able to maintain enough paint around the zone. And Ghost, as you can see, desperately trying to retake the zone before he gets lead, but he just doesn't have a lot of paint to move through. And Griff Inc. is able to take him down and send their specials, a Tri-Strike and a Zuka, coming out to hold the zone for the knockout with under a minute left in the game.
Yeah, one thing that just hit me towards the end of that game was the fact that Spirality was running a double dually comp. They had both the Splat dualies and the Tapple dualies on their team, which I don't know how well those weapons really do pair against, is when considering you also have a junior and a pencil on your team, so paint really isn't too much of an issue, but you're very hard pressed on trying to engage on any like medium range weapons as the frontliners, so that might have been part of their downfall there, but it's really hard to say without really analyzing that last game.
We saw a lot in that game of the zone flipping very quickly. We didn't see a lot of the zone like being contested, it being not in either team's control for a few seconds. It was flipped right away. They go into lockout, they paint up that choke point, and then the other team would get a couple specials, use them well, be able to take the zone, and force them back into their spawn.
We'll see exactly what adjustments are going to be made by both teams as we head to game number 3, Clan Blitz Museum Dolphonsino. Both these teams are sitting at 1-1, so I know they're going to be fighting their absolute best here to try and take this game number 2 off of their opponents.
Absolutely, and just like the Clan Blitz map we saw in our first set on Mako Mart, Museum de Alfonsino has a lot of various routes you can push through. You can take that block to go the quick route, the quick and narrow way. You can go out wide, easier but longer. You can go up the spinner and try to use some trickery, be evasive, and score that way. So once again, it'll be interesting to see how these teams play around those different routes that are available to them and which ones they take to try and score.
I'm very much I really like this map simply just for exact reasons you mentioned. It's a very just like versatile map that can really use like a lot of different weapon types. And as we see here, the double dualies do come back as well. We do see the ranged blaster come out from Griff Inc. Genuinely intrigued as to see the reasoning as to why they brought a ranged blaster against 2 dualies.
Yeah, it does seem like a difficult matchup for a blaster, with the dualies being able to roll around and throw off the blaster spacing. They can really mess with the blaster well that way. And there's already a power clam on the field. Ghost holding on to one for Spirality, but not a lot of paint. Griff Inc. has control of the middle of the map and will be looking to make their push first.
Definitely Griffink now with 2 players at a 2-player advantage right now. Hacks trying to do their best and do what they do, but they do get traded out, which is not what they want to see. As Griffink and they completely other side of the map, they do get that power climb in and they're looking to score some points, 71 points and counting off that first push.
It was 4-1 on the map for a while there, and that's how Griffink was able to score and keep scoring, and the basket is still open for this push. They've got a Kraken in the Spirality spawn. Doesn't look like they'll be able to get any more clams in for this push, but still 56 points on the board for Griff Inc. An excellent opening push for them.
A very excellent push indeed, and now things are resetting back to neutral. Spirality looking to try and get some clams to the points, some painting on the ground right now. As one does go down for Spirality, Griffink does have the player advantage right now to play however aggressive they want. If they want to try and score some more points. 21 clamp in Griffink's possession, might I want to say too, as now another player does go down for Spirality. They're slowly encroaching on their side of the map, and another player down, but 2 goes down out of nowhere from Griffink!
Still trying to hold his spot. in the Spirality spawn, able to do so, but they're not able to score quite yet. Titanium takes the power clam and throws it back. Doesn't look like Griffink's going to be able to score here. They'll reset, gather their resources, gather some specials, and try to make a move later on.
Spirality did very phenomenally well right now, fending off what could have been a very disastrous push, and now things are resetting back to neutral, and things are looking up for Spirality actually, as they have the advantage right now. They have the specials to use to clear the space to try and get that power clam in, and they do get that one. They do get that second power clams in.
They get a lot of clams in. They're only 2 more clams away from the lead, and in just 2 seconds, Griffink Spirality, had already scored about 50 points. A very quick, short, but high-scoring push for Spirality there to nearly take the lead, but it's not quite enough. They're going to need another score and then a few small clams to take the lead from Griffink.
This game now has been brought back to a neck-and-neck scenario with 23 clams in Griffink's possession. No matter what the game state is, every time I look up, I feel like Griffink has the majority of the clams were in their pockets right now. And Spirality are struggling to actually get some of these picks in order to even out some of the clan economy. But as I say, that 2 does go down for Griffink. Spirality looking to try and gain control of Spinner right now as they're looking to try and potentially gear up for their own push.
Spirality 11 clams, 7 of them held by this one player. Looking to make a push. They have control over mid. They're biding their time, being patient, waiting for the right opportunity to take down players of Griffink and let their team in. But Griffink is able to establish some paint in the mid. They are looking to retake mid. They have 3 power clams, 2 of them held by players, and they're going to look to score once again. They take 2 Spirality players down, and the Reef Slider is forced out defensively. Griffink looking to jump in a power clam. The jump comes in. Titanium's going to be able to score this. And while he goes down, he does lower the penalty of Griffink's score.
Yeah, I think that's the very key point here for Griffink. Even though they didn't get any additional points scored on their side, with that penalty points bringing out just enough, whatever power clam that does get thrown in is enough that they can start scoring immediately after that, which I think could be very integral here as we head to the final 45 seconds of this game. Spirality looking to try and get their own clams in, but no, 2 does go down, meaning they're forced to back up, make that 3 down, potentially a 4th here as this final player does get is forced back as best they can. I do find the 4th. 5 players down, back to back. This is Griffink's game to take away here.
Excellent defensive stand from Griffink, now turning into offense. Spirality had the resources, they had the specials, they had Griffink in their spawn, and Griffink was able to hold them off, prevent them from scoring, and nearly get a score of their own there.
Spirality now 2 players down with 10 seconds counting on this game. We will be going into overtime to see exactly how this game will finally conclude. Griffink just backing up as far as they can to make sure they have this wall of absolute defense that Spirality can't push through, but 1 does go down. Another goes down. That's 3 down for Griffink. That's a wipeout. Spirality is able to just come in, get this power clam in with ease, but they're still short a few power clams in, and they do take this game 3.
What a play by Spirality. Griffink holding the defensive line for 4 minutes, but Spirality just finds the way in the last second to take the overtime win. What a play by Spirality to win the set.
That was a genuinely buzzer beater play there. It was overtime. Players were desperate at this point, but I think the downfall here was Griffink was too defensive. They gave up too much space to Spirality in order for this play to even happen, because they're looking to just try and stall them out here. But once the first player falls, that's the first fall that just brings the entire house crumbling. As we see here, Haxes and the other player are able to just clean up, or just go in for that wipeout and just get those clams of any contest.
And as you mentioned, Griffink was really packed right underneath their basket there, and Spirality was able to send 2 players at them. They find 1-2 picks really quickly, and then collapse on the Snipe Rider for the final one. And after that, it's just an open path for Amber Alert to knock in that power clam and open it up for Spirality to take the win.
A beautiful game 3 by these two teams who were both neck and neck for the majority of this set. But now VCU Spirality does take this set over Griffink, meaning they get a few extra points. But Griffink still has that one game on their side, meaning they do get some consolation prizes from this set. And man, oh man, what a set this was. But with that being said, I believe we are waiting a little bit on our next game. So don't go anywhere just yet. Take this moment to take a breather. We'll be right back after this break.
With the CCA Circuit action heating up, we are very excited to announce that ASUS ROG is the sponsor of the CCA Circuit. Their eSprouts initiative is giving the CCA Circuit prizing support to our top teams for the season, and we are happy to have them join on as our prizing sponsor. You can find out more about their Elite Rewards program by typing !ASUS in Twitch chat. Thank you so much to Asus ROG for their support of the collegiate Splatoon scene. Welcome back, everyone, to Open Qualifier number 4 in this season of the Collegiate Cephalopod Association. I'm back with my good friend Dark, and now we are bringing you a match between Death Roll from the University of Florida versus Old Bay Brigade from the University of Maryland, College Park.
Whew, what a heater that last game was. I'm only looking forward to this game as well. So I'm looking forward because I am relatively familiar with Death Roll, and I know they do typically have some heaters every now and then, but we're also in Division 1, so we're at the pretty much near the top level here at the CCA. And with our first matchup on this set number 3, we'd be going to Rainmaker Humpback Pump Track.
And one thing to note real quick before we head into Rainmaker is Old Bay Brigade so far this season has won 96% of their Rainmaker games that they've played. So advantage to start off, you would think, goes to them, but Death Roll will be sure to give them a run for their money.
Both these two teams, from what I'm seeing on the stats page, are relatively similar on like at least half of these game modes here. Rainmaker and Zones pretty much being virtually neck and neck at this point between these two teams. And with our first match being Rainmaker Humpback Pump Track, I am certain that this game is going to be an explosive one. Death Roll versus Old Bay Brigade in Division 1. I'm very much excited to see exactly what these players will be doing here.
As am I, and Humpback Pump Track, somewhat of an awkward map, a little different with the way the verticality is like more curved, more sloped than other maps. So it'll be interesting to see how the players run around the map, especially how the frontliners use the approach, what angles they take to approach and try to take out opposing backliners.
And I'll say every time I see this map come up, there's always like 3 weapon types that I'm like, I'd pretty much bet money on that we'll see here. And we'll either see a blaster, a bucket, or a roller of some kind. The way that this map is angled and designed, those 3 weapon types really like this map. As a blaster player myself, I really like this map with all the ledges and the corners and just so much you can just be an annoying little rat with. So I will put money on that we'll see either of those here on this game.
And you mentioned sloshers and rollers too. There are lots of little spots for them to hide behind small walls and throw their shots over that wall at opponents or attack from over a ledge. And so we'll see how right we are about these comps between Death Roll and Old Bay Brigade. Game 1 begins now.
It's just that easy. Three buckets on one team. It's just that easy. What did I tell you, chat?
The slosher comp from Death Roll here on Humpback Rainmaker, and none of those weapon classes on the side of Old Bay Brigade, who are able to get the first pop and establish control over the very center of the map to begin with.
A 1-for-1 trade from both sides. Death Roll is looking to try and poke out Old Bay Brigade as best they can, but with 2 more additional picks from them, Death Roll is forced to recall as Old Bay Brigade have that first checkpoint, and that next pop done almost immediately. The Rain looking to hopefully zone them out as long for a little bit more time, so Death Roll can gear up and get ready for this next push.
Nico Chico recognized you. They were the only Death Roll player alive, had to jump out, and once that happened, there was no one contesting Old Bay Brigade. They're easily able to get that first checkpoint. But now Death Roll is 3 players up. They're going to have a good chance here to get their own checkpoint and really start to play some offense of their own.
But the sploosh comes down from the high rope and just pretty shuts that Rainmaker down, causing that push for as long as they can. But it may have not been enough. It may have been in vain as that Rainmaker does get deposited at the pedestal, and now they're looking to get their own next push going. Captain is looking to zone as best they can.
Captain, and Old Bay Brigade is 2 players down. Nico Chico with the Rainmaker looking for the opportunity to push and take lead, and it could be here. Yes, it is. They push it all the way to 20, finding routes away from the opposing shots and getting the Rainmaker all the way to 17 points away from the goal.
17 points are remaining from Death Roll. Old Bay Brigade, for Old Bay Brigade, that's what I like to call in this situation a near knockout scenario, meaning in order to get and contest those 17 points, you practically have the opportunity to get a knockout on that final dunk. So this is going to be a bit of a mountain to climb for Old Bay Brigade, but it could still be done if they play their cards right.
As you said, difficult but absolutely manageable for Old Bay Brigade. But now they're 2 down, so it's not likely to happen here. They have 2 specials available. Probably not going to use them yet. Probably hoping to use them offensively when the chances come, when they have their whole team back in the middle of the map.
Roll is doing what some of these weapons are just known for, just painting the absolute loving amount of this map, as now they have such huge paint control right now, but there's only 1 player remaining here from Deathel, and they do get the pick, and the Vulcan survives the splashdown!
I don't know how he lived that. I thought he was doomed, but we saw a few plays earlier, the slosher over the ledge, as we mentioned, getting a pick for Death Roll, and now they're looking to push further, but are taken out in the corner.
A 1-for-1 trade from the Decapitator and the Rainmaker means Old Bay Brigade are forced to play this neutral game once again, but the Bucket's just sitting there waiting patiently for someone to pick up the Rainmaker, anyone to pick up the Rainmaker, 2 players down on their team, and they still are just sitting there hiding, and do get the Shark successfully come off as Nitro takes that Rainmaker down!
So patient from Nitro, makes the right move, makes the defensive play, holds on to the lead, and with a minute and a half, Death Roll just looks to continue to defend. But this decap of Old Bay Brigade is gonna cause some problems. They finally take him out. Death Roll now has player advantage on the map. They're gonna be able to get the Rainmaker out of their spawn here.
Just as we switch to Nico, we see all 4 bubbles land on their 4 player from Old Bay Brigade as they are taken out, and now things are shifting to a neutral state, at least at this point, as Rainmakers drop. Death Roll are grouped up in mid and have majority control, but no, things are shifting back for Old Bay Brigade. 3 goes down, that's a delayed wipeout, pretty much a wipeout with that jump in, and now there's only 1 minute remaining, and they're looking to try and get this Rainmaker as far as they can.
Bay Brigade was here at the beginning of the game. They pushed it to 39. Can they get it past 17 here? Now it's 4-3 in favor of Death Roll. And as on the left side of the map, looking to open up, draw attention away from the Rainmaker, and open a path up to push it past that 17 mark that they need. There are only 30 seconds left though. Death Roll holding strong in defense, not going down, not allowing any easy routes in, but here comes Old Bay Brigade.
In a shocking turn of events, what should have been a clear-cut route with the hammer is just absolutely shut down by Death Roll, doing what the Gators are known for, just holding on and not letting go. Old Bay Brigade has no opportunity to try and take this Rainmaker away, and this game number 1 is gonna go to Death Roll.
Top 5 points below the lead. Had to. Old Bay Brigade, they had the momentum, they had everything, they had the hammer painting the path. But Death Roll timed their specials perfectly and was able to use them to knock out all 4 players of Old Bay Brigade to seal game 1.
Triple buckets, by the way. I want to remind everyone that they were using triple buckets from Death Roll against Old Bay Brigade. I mentioned this map being very favorable for those weapon classes, but I genuinely did not expect it to be this favorable in this situation.
The triple bucket for Death Roll proves to be effective. They get an early push to 17, and they're able to hold the line after that. Excellent defensive stand at the end, using their specials well to stop the Rainmaker right before they lose the lead.
Oh, what a first game here. I never would have expected a triple bucket to be pulled up as well as what Death Roll did here, just utterly stalling out Old Bay Brigade for as long as they did, and managed to get this victory, even though it was extremely close there at the end.
And we expect it to continue to be very close throughout this set. If that game 1 is a sign of what we're getting for the rest of this set, I am very excited to see what these teams are going to bring to tower control on Sturgeon Shipyard for game 2.
Wow, I mean, I'm going to say it again. Surgeon Shipyard is another well-favored map for buckets, rollers, and blasters. So I'm pretty sure at least one of those buckets are going to be staying for this next game. This map has a lot of verticality and a good amount of ledges to hide under. Not as much as something like Humpback Pump Check we just saw, but there are still like very good hiding spots for those weapons to pop off and really abuse. And I'm just curious to see what Old Bay Brigade is going to be doing in response to the triple bucket comp they just played against.
Yeah, they are going to need to find some sort of counterplay because what just wasn't quite enough on Humpback Pump Track. See if they can make the right adjustment for tower control as we head into game 2.
Oh man, I'm still over that last minute, that last second victory. Old Bay Brigade, you had it lined up for them, but unfortunately that was just proving to be strong, and I'm curious to see exactly if that's going to be happening again here. There is one point of contention here, is that around that second checkpoint leading up to that ramp, where if they can get past that, things can really snowball out of control, and I'm curious to see if Death Roll has the tools here to try and actively, properly defend against that.
Buckets on one side, a roller on the other. As we head into game 2, teams sprint towards the tower. All of them heading on their own right sides of the map, no one going around to the left to open up this game.
I will say that I think that Bloblobber is putting a lot more trouble than Old Bay Brigade might have been expecting, just being able to stay on the high ground and just constantly berate the Old Bay Brigade with just all those bubbles. But 3 does go down for Death Roll. Old Bay Brigade has a clear-cut advantage here, and that tower is moving into that first checkpoint without any contention whatsoever.
Chico forced to back way up, way far away from the tower where you can't contest the checkpoint at all, and Old Bay Brigade continues to win fights. They keep it even or advantage on the map so far all game long, and now Death Roll finally gets a clean pick and might be able to contest the tower now.
But that might not be the case here, as that second checkpoint's already gone. The Old Bay Brigade is heading on this tower control and riding to that final resting point. The Bloblobber are doing what they can, but it's not enough. Old Bay Brigade just cleans up Death Roll without any contest.
Right when I said it was an even position on the map and Death Roll had a chance to take the tower, Old Bay Brigade took out 3 players of Death Roll, and from there were easily able to snowball the tower all the way to the goal. Well done by Old Bay Brigade. A dominant Game 2 performance from them.
You know, I know how well the triple bucket comp worked last game, and that's fine and all, and it's good to play to your strengths, but I generally don't think double bucket is something that should ever really be done, can ever be done effectively, especially with what's going on here. Going up against, I think the huge downfall here for Death Roll was the fact that they had 2 bubblers to go up against, which are specials that buckets kind of have a hard time dealing with.
And that, as we just saw in this replay, that tri-strike with the tower at that second checkpoint really sealed it. It gave enough paint for Old Bay Brigade that they were able to move around, attack from an angle, find those last couple of picks they needed to allow the tower to get all the way to the goal.
I mean, what's there to say after that second game? It was so clear-cut victory for Old Bay Brigade that there really isn't much to analyze, other than the fact that maybe they could have swapped out one of the buckets for a different weapon here, but that's really up to the team and not, I think, something we can really talk to in depth of. Now, we're definitely going to be looking at game number 3, Splat Zone's Mako Mar, and I genuinely hate to say this 3-3, but Bucket is another good weapon choice here.
Yeah, able to, any sort of weapon that can attack over a ledge here is good because it'll force the opponents off the stack, and if you can force them off that stack position, you'll have a lot more space you can work with to contest that zone.
And I'm very eager to see exactly if those buckets do stay. We do see a triple bucket lineup once again. If it worked the first time, I'm sure it's gonna work again, as we see the Explosher in favor of the Bubbler coming out here, as both of these teams do go out for the mid to try and get this first zone. Death Roll does get the first zone control.
Old Bay Brigade sticking with the same comp they did last time. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, and that comp is what dominated game 2 for them. S on the decaf, able to take out 2, early advantage, and a wipeout for Old Bay Brigade. They're going to be able to get a strong opening push and really get them paint down and start to lock out Death Roll away from this zone.
it's really going to be up to the Explosion to try and create the space that the rest of the remaining members of Death Row needs in order to contest Old Bay Brigade. But as I say that, 2 mortals go down for Death Row. Old Bay Brigade just has such a wide control here on mid that even with the splashdown and the tri-strikes, it's not enough, barely enough to finally get that zone flip to get those huge penalty points to Old Bay Brigade. But 2 down once again for Death Row. Make that 3.
Nico Chico made a great play to retake some space on the stack, earn his team enough time to get the tri-strike and flip the zone, but Old Bay Brigade able to respond to that very, very quickly and re-establish the lockout, go back into the lockout phase, start attacking the death roll players, and scoring points in the zone.
Old Bay Brigade all but done with their penalty points at this point, meaning that they start taking away at their actual points once again. The Explosion looking to zone out as best they can, using whatever angles they can find to try and get that. There is tri-strikes online for Old Bay Brigade to try and space it out, but the tri-strikes from Death Roll does come out and take zone once again, and 3 does go down for Old Bay Brigade, meaning Death Roll can finally take hold of mid and properly set themselves up with his upcoming push.
Nico Chico once again earning a lot of space for Death Roll, enabling them to get back into the middle of the map, contest the zone with a tri-strike, and now they are the ones locking out Old Bay Brigade, and Old Bay Brigade trying to find the angle that they need to get back into the zone now.
The important thing about the Explosion is that it really excels well once it gets properly set up and properly gets put into position. Other than that, it's a weapon that really struggles to try and do much of. But now with Explosion being the last member alive on Death Roll means they're forced to jump out and to concede zone to Old Bay Brigade. 4 points remaining from the potential lead take.
Nico Chico narrowly escapes with his life there. But with all 4 Death Roll members back in the base, Old Bay Brigade and Fell on his Nautilus able to retake the zone and move up. But now Death Roll flips it back to their end. Fell goes down. 3 down for Old Bay Brigade. Death Roll will be able to push up and start an attack of their own here.
Things are neck and neck right now. Oh, there's a 4-point differential between these 2 teams. They could go either way as we head into the final 2 minutes of this game. Death Roll trying to hold on as long as they can, but Old Bay Brigade is slowly pushing them back further and further with the drain and with the ink strikes. That's going to be a contention of the zone, but the splashdown does come in to get some chaos, and 2 does go down. Old Bay Brigade cannot contest the zone quite yet, and Death Roll has the lead, and they get a wipeout.
Great defensive stand by Death Roll. The Razor from Old Bay Brigade pulled out the tri-strike, threw it into the zone, tried to get his team in, their team in, but the triple splashdown from Nico Chico timed brilliantly, took down 2 members of Old Bay Brigade, and was really able to seal that game for Death Roll.
Once again, Death Roll staying true to their name, doing the mascot of their animal, just the utmost sincerity and just holding on and not letting go. Even at the very end, Death Roll takes his game 2-1 over Old Bay Brigade. After what was a very clear-cut victory, game number 2, it wasn't enough to shake them going into this game number 3.
Now, Old Bay Brigade had the lead for the majority of that 3rd game, but Death Roll, as used in Splatoon, 1 big push is all you need. 1 big push is better than 3 or 4 mini-sized pushes, and this is the play that sealed it. The triple splashdown from Nico Chico to take out 2 Old Bay Brigade players in the zone and establish the lockout from there.
What a amazing set from triple bucket to double trumpet to triple bucket once again. Death Roll is just absolutely cooking in the kitchen, and I'm excited to see how they fare once they make it into the bracket. But with that being said and done, I believe there is a small break into our next game, so we'll be right back. We'll be going into a quick break. Get your water, get your snacks, use the restroom, do all you need. We'll be right back.
Cause we'll start falling, falling, falling. Cause we'll start falling, falling, falling. Cause we'll start falling. Yeah, we said we let it go, but we settled for the last. Couldn't let you want it though. Who am I to let you down? No, who am I to let you down? Down,
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. They them travelers in between. My name is SPF Dark. I'm here with Collegiate, and we're bringing you our fourth match of the block: Bash versus them. That's dangerous.
Yes, and this is an exciting match near the top of the Swiss. Both of these teams are 2-1 so far in the Swiss stage, looking to end their Swiss 3-1.
I'm very much excited for this game. Not only do I know Bash relatively well and seeing a lot of some of their games in the past and know that they have the goods. That's dangerous. For folks who don't know, I am a Texas born and a Texas native, so I always have some bias in Texas, but I won't let that bias slide here for the time being, just to keep things neutral right here on the booth.
Ending off strong with another match. We expect to be close. These teams have been playing well all season, and we're excited to see what comps, what strategies, the moves they make in this match here.
And to start off this next match, we'll be going Clam Blitz Umami Ruins. I know Umami Ruins is a kind of a hot topic for the community as to whether people like it or not. I personally really like it. I think it's a nice and fun map. But Clams Umami, I think this was more of a neutral take as to what people like about this game, about this map.
Yeah, Umami, personally, one of my favorite maps, but we'll see how these teams feel about it, what they bring to the table. Similar comps, a heavy edit coming out as the backliner for both of these teams as they rush to the mid, looking to gather clans and establish control over both sides of this central platform.
And that neutral platform is going to be the key here, as already 2 picks go out in favor for That's Dangerous. Bash being forced to back up and try and get ready for this upcoming defense, as 9 power climbs in the ready for That's Dangerous. Especially with the tactical online, that could be a very good push here if they can get things going.
They are looking for an early push. They have numbers advantage once again. Silly on the heavy edit, looking to find another pick, and they get it. And now this is a big chance for them. That's Dangerous, but it's shut down. The Dooley's move is shut down there, and now they are 2 dead. This attack is almost certainly over. Bash moves back into mid, looking to retake.
Tide's being shifted, and now Bash is being the ones who are trying to go on the offensive here, as That's Dangerous backing up now, but they do get a play off of Bash's own, as now these games are now in a neutral state. Both these 2 teams are at a 1-for-1 now, 2-for-1. Bash being forced to back up once again. That's Dangerous is just cleaning up mid.
Rhubarb staying alive, forcing Bash to focus on them, and not being able to put together a push quite yet, but they have a 3-to-1 advantage on the map now. They're going to be looking to maybe score here.
This platform is very heated right now. Both these teams are just trying to maintain control as best they can, but That's Dangerous forced to concede it, as now they're being set back to spawn 1 by 1. Bash had a even ground right now, as we have 1 player coming in, 1 player going in, and they do get the dunk on the power clam. The basket's cracked wide open, and they do get an additional clam at the very least from that single push.
Nemo finds a route in, able to knock in the power clam and score to take the early lead. 29 points on the board for Bash to start it off. 3 minutes to go in game 1.
With that first push, that could very well be the only push we see, considering how this game has been played so far. A relatively neutral state that both these 2 teams can't really push past one over the other. As That's Dangerous goes in to try and get that push going, Bash holds strong and defends it, and now they're going to be ones who are trying to go in yet again with power clams at the ready, with specials at the ready. Just 1 pick is all they need to try and fully convert on the remaining players of That's Dangerous, but the power clam does at the cost right here as the flash out cuz come through.
It does indeed, but Bash still has player advantage. They are maintaining control, and they have paint near the basket, trying to make a route in to get that power clam, and they have lots of extra clams in addition to the power that they might be able to score, but not anymore. That's Dangerous, moving up quickly, finding a couple kills and moving forward, looking to establish control over mid and start a push of their own.
Each and every time That's Dangerous tries to go in and get ready for their own push, Bash, even with added player disadvantage, is able to hold strong and just fend off the attack without any loss whatsoever. And now Bash just wanting to hold on to mid as long as they can right now, as That's Dangerous are trying to push back further, forcing their hand as best they can as we head to the final 1 minute 30 seconds of this game.
Both teams have been playing excellent defense all game long. You see a team get an advantage, get a 2-player advantage on the map, look to push, and the opposing team holds strong. We've seen it many, many times in this only 3.5 minutes of Splatoon here.
Once again, Bash does it again. They defend from That's Dangerous. We're finally crumbling under the pressure, and now they have the opportunity to take lead away, and they do take lead away with just 1 power clam. But now there's a super jump in with this another power clam that's going to extend the lead even further, putting Bash down at a tremendous rate with another wipeout once again. If they play the card that That's Dangerous can just knock this game out here and now.
Especially they have the resources. Bash is forced so far back, so far away from their basket, and That's Dangerous can keep scoring, keep putting the pressure on, but now a couple of them go down. This push might end here. No, Rhubarb gets a couple more in to take the counter down to 12. Huge push for That's Dangerous. Take a big lead with under 30 seconds left in the game.
With how neutral this game has been so far between these 2 teams, Bash and That's Dangerous, this could very well be Bash's game to lose here, as they have only done 1 small push up to this point. And even though we most likely are going to go into overtime here with That's Dangerous being forced to give up mid at the very least, they go out swinging, as there's only 1 player remaining from Bash, and that's the power climb holder, and they're all the way all under their basket, meaning they have a long way to go in order to try and push past this basket, but they still have some time left on the overtime timer.
forced so far back, making it very difficult to push in. Now his teammates are down again. Sam looking for the ceiling kill. Panda running away, but there's so little time left on the clock. Panda is taken down to seal the game. That's dangerous with 2 wipeouts and 88 points on 1 push. Wins game 1.
A phenomenal patient game of Net Dangerous played there. They waited and bided their time that entire time for that one crucial team wipeout mistake that Bash did to really go into the swing, and they hit the home run with that, taking it all the way down to about 20 points remaining off of a single push. That's exactly the kind of tenacity they need in order to pull through this set.
And it was just Bash. They had players down before. They had to play defense before, but that's dangerous. Found a way to get through it on that one time, and they found a way to keep that pressure on, get a second wipeout during the same push, and knock in a whole 88 points from that one single push.
Good game indeed. Both of these two teams do have the knowledge to try and best one another, and at the end of that game, Net Dangerous was the one who came out on top. And now the conversation is going to be happening as to what's going to be doing next. Rainmaker on Manta Marina. What is Bash going to be doing to try and overcome Net Dangerous? What changes are they going to be doing in order to try and make sure they can do that?
The map like Manta Maria might help to have a weapon that's good at limiting narrow spaces, like a Splatana is very good at fighting in narrow spaces. There are a few small, little narrow choke points on Manta Maria, and weapons like a Splatana or even a Fizzy Bomb that can help you push through narrow spaces really easily could come out strong on this map mode.
Yeah, absolutely. Narrow is pretty much one of the defining features of this map, and so you gotta be very mindful as to what's going on, what's being thrown against you, and what specials they have at the ready for. A very well placed Tri-Strike can just utterly flash out Alley if you're not careful enough. So you gotta be very mindful as to what they're going to be bringing here.
Slosher, an excellent point for what we were just talking about, and the Wiper coming out on the other side of the map. April on the Wiper and Nemo on the Slosher, hoping to take control of those narrow spaces and be able to easily win fights in there.
I will say the tandem missiles could be key here, as although it's not as accurate as clearing out certain sections, scattering players from Bash with those missiles is going to be key here to take advantage with those narrow spaces. But already, that's dangerous. 2 down. Bash is going to be able to get the Rainmaker and looking to push up and get that first Rainmaker dunk immediately. But no, they're shut down by Sam.
Bash, once again, we saw this so many times in game 1. They win a couple fights, they're up big in players, and Sam, in this case, is the one to make a big defensive stand and stop Bash from even reaching the checkpoint. Now holding the Rainmaker, trying to make a push of their own. It's even on the map, 3-3, being forced to maneuver around by that killer whale, and Warmug's able to finish the job.
That Rainmaker is dropped right next to that checkpoint. It could have been a very dangerous situation for them to be able to get that back cap of that player who does go down on the back line, meaning this game is going to be pretty much reset back to a more neutral state, as Net Dangerous look to just hold on to mid, just keep Bash back as best they can, especially with the tactical online, the Trizuka online as well. 2 players down for Bash. That's Net Dangerous situation that they want to see to pull and get that Rainmaker dunked.
Push again. Will Bash be able to hold the defense here? Just barely able to do. Silly, not quite able to dunk it on that checkpoint. There's a pop there. Can they dunk it here? No. Lettuce runs in and grabs the Rainmaker to stall this That's Dangerous offense even more.
This is a very dangerous situation for That's Dangerous, but danger is in their name as they do get that dunk right in the midst of all that chaos, and now they're looking to try and push up this momentum as best they can. Bash bring points to just regroup and try and see exactly what tools they have to try and fight back. 2 players out on each side. This could go either way, but it's very dangerous for Bash.
Bash is continuing to make forced defensive moves, diving at the Rainmaker just to stall the push, make them fight win more and more fights, but That's Dangerous keeps winning those fights. That's how they're able to get the Rainmaker finally done.
All right. Sorry for that brief interruption. Unfortunately, our caster's internet card did die in the midst of that. But now we're looking at a replay as to, I think, what might be the final few moments of this game. That a beautiful wipeout from That's Dangerous. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the one that spells victory for them.
April on the wiper makes a great move, gets behind the Bash defense, and gets a wipeout that opens up a ton of space for That's Dangerous. And it looks like they're going to be able to knock it out on this push here. With 3 down, Silly is able to run it in and score the slam dunk to win game 2 and the set.
That Dangerous is putting up one heck of a fight here up against Bash, and now they do win the set, but it's still Bash's game here. If they can try and take one game off of That's Dangerous for point fixing as well for seeding in the upcoming bracket phase. We are going to be going up in Tower Control on Shipshape Cargo Company. What I like to think, anyways, it's a very volatile map mode.
I agree, because I feel like each section of the tower path is so different about the map geometry and how you want to play around that on this particular map. So it'll be interesting to see how the strategy changes throughout this game and how the movement and positioning of the teams adjust accordingly.
And the one thing I want to point out here is key to try and defend is that first checkpoint heading into the second checkpoint. Once you get about the midway point there, things really start to snowball really fast. So you gotta make sure you can stop stop as long as you can before that get past that first checkpoint. Now That's Dangerous marching on to that set first checkpoint.
April moving forward on the wiper, trying to earn some space for That's Dangerous, and a triple splashdown double kill for Rhubarb. Finds a third as well. That'll open up some space for That's Dangerous to get past that first checkpoint, and hopefully for them, they start snowballing just as you mentioned at the beginning of this game.
Tri-Shreks come out to try and slow it down as best they can, and they do manage to at least stop the tower control as Bash is looking to go in and clean up the remaining members of That's Dangerous, but there's still one in the backline, one that unaccounted for. That they could have maybe gotten a backline pick there, but they do choose to jump out instead, as Bash now has control of the tower. They're looking to get their own first checkpoint checked off.
Dangerous, able to push to 40, a solid mark. Won't be easy for Bash to surpass, but absolutely not impossible. But That's Dangerous, they have played excellent defense all set long, and that doesn't seem to be stopping here. Silly on the heavy edit, forces Bash off the tower, and Sam comes around from the other side to find a pair of kills, and That's Dangerous once again in the advantage here.
That's Dangerous is playing like they have Bash completely figured out. Bash is having a very hard time now trying to push up against That's Dangerous. The constant pressure that they're going up against, it's very hard to get anything going as they just That's Dangerous keeps this momentum going, especially with the tactical. They're getting pick after pick after pick, meaning Bash is forced to constantly play at the back foot.
Indeed, and Silly on or near this tower for That's Dangerous. They look to move forward, add to their lead, make it even harder for Bash to overtake them. And now they will start scoring. Only 3 points added and 2 members down. Warmuk in a difficult spot though. Can he make this stand for Bash? Yes, Bash able to hold strong and only allow that push to get to 36 remaining.
Thing about that second checkpoint area is that really does crumble once that second checkpoint does go down. Bash still able to hold on to that, means that they're still in this for a reasonable amount of time. 2 minutes 30 seconds remaining, 2 players down for Bash. That's Dangerous has the key once again, pushing that tower to hopefully try and get that second checkpoint finally knocked out.
Forced to back up, just keep That's Dangerous out of his spawn area. Bash, 2 players going down again, and the Zuka from Sam not able to do much though with it. Panda in a difficult spot here. Rhubarb takes him out and is traded away though.
that Dangerous just keeps on going, keeps this tower pushed up farther and further. Bash not getting any room to breathe and to properly reset to get specials going. But as they back up, that Dangerous, it gets picked off by Bash. That's a 3-for-1 right there, as Bash now going in, pressing the advantage. That Dangerous being forced to finally regroup once again.
What a great move from Warmonk along the right side of the map to allow Bash back into the middle. April now going around trying to attack from the angles, and Bash goes 2 down and loses control of the tower as it stalls out in the mid once again.
Everyone collapsed on the tower, but that Dangerous that actually came out on top here. Bash being forced to back up once again as the killer well doesn't come out to try and create some space. That's Dangerous scattering and just getting whatever picks as they can, especially with that Trizuka there. They do manage to narrowly avoid the Trizuka from that Dangerous and gets the pick off in return. 3 down for that's Dangerous.
How did Niemo live that? Don't know how the Zuka shot didn't kill, but Niemo will happily take it, and it creates an advantage for Bash. They're looking to push. They might be able to break through this first checkpoint here, and then after that, it's not too far from there to the lead.
Tactical or online for that Dangerous. There is a bubble on Bash right now on the tower, but it does not matter as one player goes in. Sam cleans up the tower, and now that Dangerous has control of the tower. There's only 20 seconds remaining, but they're not pushing the tower right now as they just keep it mid and making sure that it doesn't go too far in Bash's territory. Another pick goes down, 2 down for Bash. That Dangerous looking to collapse the remaining members, and I'm pretty sure that this game set and match is gonna go in favor for that's Dangerous as they hold on strong.
Only 3 seconds remaining, and no one on Bash near the tower. Can Warmonk get on there on time? No, he can't. There was a Zuka there to take him out anyway. Bash, they had a push going. They had a bubble on the tower near the lead, but that's Dangerous sent 2 players, one from either side of the tower, into that bubble, able to take out the tower rider to seal game 3 and the set.
Slowly but surely throughout the course of this entire set, that's Dangerous figured out Bash and what makes him tick. And by the end of this game 3, Bash could hardly do any major pushes up against that's Dangerous, and they were able to take this set away with a clear-cut 3-0 at the end, even though it was almost a close touch at the tower at the end there. That Dangerous just proved to be too much for Bash.
That's Dangerous. They just played excellent defense all set long. In that Clam Blitz game, in the Rainmaker, and in Tower Control, they played great defense, even when they had player disadvantage. Even when it was a 2-on-4 situation, they were able to hold their leads and just maintain enough to get the win 3-0 in this set.
Both these two teams did phenomenal regardless of the outcome, and I'm excited to see exactly how they will be going into the bracket stage. But with that set being done, that's going to wrap up our block here at the CCA as we get ready for our next block. So, Gorith, anything you want to plug or anything you want to add?
No, not really. It was an honor to be here, and thank you all for watching. I was honored to bring a great day of CCA Splatoon today.
I'm very much excited, and don't go anywhere just yet. My name's SPFR. You can find me at most socials at that same name, and we'll be right back for our next block.
Inside lane, Missing exits, glued to the pavement. Between the lines, I'll keep my gaze straight ahead as the last stop flies by. No more waiting for the gun to fire. No more walking through revolving doors. I've gone around once, and I don't need to go around anymore. Break away, forget your sober case. Stop dwelling on empty words. Stop stalling in the doorway. And cancel the cruise control. Switch it in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right? Stop stalling in the doorway and cancel the cruise control. Switch it in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right again? Don't you wanna feel whole? Don't you wanna feel?
All right, everybody, how's it going? Welcome now to the bracket stages here in CCA Qualifier for the fall season of that matter. My name is Kyon. On the other side is, of course, Fusion. Fusion, welcome aboard. How are you doing so far?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to see a lot of colleges do their best in this CCA Qualifier. I actually haven't been able to have the chance to follow CCA, but I have seen Husky Splatsville Knights Violet team, which who's going to be competing here a lot at the local scene here in Seattle. So I know a decent bit about this team. USF coming from South Florida as well. This is going to be an exciting match.
This should be a whole lot of fun. They already went ahead and got right into it. We'll give you the map right away. This should be the game one being Undertow Spillway Rainmaker. We'll cover the two maps later on, Fusion, for sure, of what got struck out. But if we take a look real quickly at the weapons we have available, double splatter shot, of course, sniper, and probably one of your favorite weapons, Blaster, for sure. And then on the other side, almost as we see that ink brush that Sakura is dishing out.
Yeah, interestingly, I'm interested to see Haya, of course, a very good player on that range blaster. Though I have not seen range blaster. It's not really in their weapon history, so I'm excited to see what they're going to be able to pull out with it, whether they're well practiced with this or not. But here we go. 20 seconds into the game, both teams scrapping over that Rainmaker. Specials are beginning to come out from the Husky Splatsville Knights. They're going to look to get a little bit of an advantage in mid, but still, even game so far, but the picks are turning in USF's favor.
Yeah, South Florida's getting those quick picks right away. And we're going to be intrigued right out of the gate to see if they can take advantage of this double splatter shot, almost the same skin as well, the order variant, how that is able to deliver there. The sniper, by the way, is holding on to that Rainmaker, not able to slam it home right away. It's going to be just cut a little short of the checkpoint, and they are going to lose to just the lone range blaster is going to be the one that's there. Still lurking large. Kraken's actually being popped out as we speak. Sakura's still playing this one a little patiently there. The Kraken's making a chase for them right now, but it looks like it won't amount to much. Just cut short. That jump's going to get punished there. Flacco's going to go down to Sakura, and all it stands right now, just 62 points remaining here, Fusion.
Yeah, nice job from Sakura, just being evasive as always on the brush. Gotta be the range blaster's worst enemy. Kraken unable to do absolutely anything there. OctoKid looking to open it up on the right side. They're going to be able to find a trade, but the Rainmaker is not going to make it past mid. So this early advantage, or rather, this takeback is not going to get too much ground, but Sakura again sharking out. They get the pick on the range blaster. She's looking to move around over that right side, try and get into the enemy base, but instead is going to stall. They find the pencil alone. That's going to be a huge pick. 3 members down. That's going to be a Rainmaker dunk on the checkpoint. It's just the range blaster. 3 members down. Sakura is going absolutely crazy. That is the checkpoint, but this is going to be a difficult defend for USF. They are on the respawn, but not before a few points come onto the board. 36. Really nice quick push on that right side. You don't see pushes go there too often, but when they do, the points come quickly.
And I love that they just decided to full commit to that right side. It was the perfect situation too. In most cases, you'll see teams possibly loop to that left checkpoint there, keeping things a little bit safe. But they realize the opportunity is right there. May as well get that in, then keep pushing forward towards the ramp and just get 36 quick points in. They weren't going to get the KO with the way that defense is set up right then and there. And all it stands right now, that will be Husky Splatsville Knights Violet specifically getting the lead as we speak here. 2 minutes and just around 15 seconds left to go on the clock. And the rest of South Florida, excuse me, still trying to pick themselves back up here. Zuga is going to get a pick onto Nexus from range, but it is a bit of a neutral fight as it stands with the members up right now. Fusion, it's still going to be a decent amount of time for South Florida to get to rebound back.
Yeah, and on this side behind them, they need to keep an eye out for Sakura. And those whales, the Rainmaker's going to end up being chipped here. 3 members of USF pushing that Rainmaker to the checkpoint, but they find 2 picks on the Huskies moving for that checkpoint. Now they just have to contend with the brush from the behind, and they get Sakura. Now Inker is going to pull out the Zuka, look to find a pick. They don't find one, but they force OctoKid down. There's the Rainmaker moving points forward. That's going to find some space, and that's going to be the lead. USF takes it back, and they're not done just yet. Husky Splatsville Knights are going to be able to clear them up, though, and now with just a minute and a half left in the game, the Huskies need to find a way back in. That right side push is going to be heavily watched, so they're going to opt to go to the left side. Let's see what they're going to be able to make of it.
This is going to be the big thing to keep an eye on, especially with South Florida being 4 members up when the checkpoint got cleared, allowed for an easy entryway to get to 26 points remaining there and the lead, but still a lot of time actually, especially with Huskies Flexible Knights. We just saw earlier 3 down situation, allowing them to keep moving forward, but there is going to be Haya trying to lurk large with that Kraken. Ottokin's just trying to play any sort of holding on to the Rainmaker as we speak. There, 2 members have gone down. They did lose that defense there, and with the way the Rainmaker's positioned here, Fusion makes things a little bit more difficult. It will have to be the Huskies Splatsville Knights time to see if they can find any picks with whatever weapons they have in store for them. And it looks like Flacco is still going to be retreating. This is going to be a heavy defensive hold from South Florida, especially when they use the Rainmaker as a main weapon.
Oh yeah, able to defend that corner so well. Haya helping clean things up. They're able to find, not another pick onto Sakura. Brand's able to drop in with that Nautilus, find 2 picks. That looks like it's going to be a third, but it's not. Inker able to play some defense, and they're going to be able to keep this timer ticking, give their team more time to respawn. They get a few picks on the Huskies, but they're going to have one final shot as we head into overtime. This is going to need to be just a very clean push, and with something like a Kraken potentially coming out on the other side, as well as 2 Inkzukas, they're going to need to be very careful. Here comes the first Zuka, but actually the range and the splatter shot with the Zuka are picked off. Inka running for the Rainmaker. That's a delayed wipe. Here comes the push forward. They need to watch out from above. Time is ticking down, Kyon.
Yeah, time is definitely ticking down right now. Ottokid is holding on to this Rainmaker for dear life, and they are able to get 2 members down right away. 3 members have gone down, and the Sniper is going to go down on top of it. Another delayed wipe. This should definitely be the lead here, and it will. Just literally in the last push and able to win out all those fights at the end. Huskies Splatful Knights in what was a banger of a first map takes game 1.
Wow, incredible stuff. Just at the end there, being able to be aware and anticipating when the enemy team is gonna fish for those picks in overtime. That happens on Rainmaker, it happens on tower control. You're like, the Inkzuka is going to poke out from the ledge. They got Flacco. Haya was running for the Rainmaker. Inker was running for Octokid on that Rainmaker as well, and they just jumped on it immediately. The Huskies were able to battle back and play a very patient offense. I do really like how they cleared all the corners while the Rainmaker sat back. Just great job overall, not getting too hasty and just anticipating how USF wanted to end that game there.
I touched on that point. Just incredible patience too, because in most cases, I feel like in overtime, especially in this Rainmaker situation, you want to try to move forward, especially with that timer ticking down. But 35 seconds when they got that push landed is actually pretty much a lot of time to still get yourself set up, especially with the weapons that they have. So that's a great game 1 pretty much for the Husky Spletsville Knights. So the second map, by the way, to just get you guys up to speed here, is Mako Tower Control. The strikes, by the way, was Husky Spletsville Knights taking out Mahi Zones, and South Florida takes out Humpback Pumpjack Clan Blitz. By the way, the strikes were in reverse order. And Fusion, I know we both were asking before we just went to live about Mahi Zones being the interesting pick. Stats-wise, this actually may make sense here because the Husky Spletsville Knights got no wins in that map, and well, South Florida does, so it makes a lot more sense when we factor all that in. The problem, though, is that Tower Control, with the information we have, is not their best mode so far for the Husky Spletsville Knights.
Yeah, it's definitely not their best mode. We're a little bit lacking in stats, but out of the 6 games they've played on it, they've won 1 of them. So, not their best mode. Their best mode is indeed Clam Blitz, which I bet Sakura does a lot of work on. Everybody loves an ink brush on Clam Blitz. Here we go, Mahi Tower Control. This is going to be a bit of a bloodbath. Bran here sticking to that Nautilus. I'm kind of interested because it seems like Bran, being a flexible player, is kind of opting for that anchor role, which was missing on the team. Bran gets taken out immediately by USF. Sakura is going to find 1, not a second. Flacco is going to clean that up, move forward, and now USF has an opportunity with that cooler up to help their team get back in and potentially get a push started.
So, and the team's still going to be weighing a little bit there with the fact that Husky Spletsville Knights are able to crawl right back into it and just try to contest around mid. One of the things that I saw right away here is both teams, I don't think, opted to keep the same weapons. For sure, South Florida kept the same. Huskies Splatsville Knights, I believe, kept the same weapons as well, if not just one or two changes there. So just keep an eye on how these weapons play out once more in the context of this Mako TC map. As, by the way, Zuka is going to land. They will take one, but South Florida has lost 3, just like that. Inker's going to be the only one lurking large, which they're going to get shut down. It's a delayed wipe, and that's the first checkpoint cleared here, Fusion.
Yes, it is. The tower is going to move forward. Nexus able to get up into that top left and find a sneaky pick onto the Snipe Raider. That's going to be absolutely huge. Now teaming up with Sakura. That's going to be a big offensive push coming out from Husky Splatsville Knights. Violet, they get another pick. The tower moving towards that final checkpoint. The Huskies moving into the enemy base, looking to clear things up, being aggressive, not opting to just dive the tower for points. They're going to survive, nearly get that checkpoint. No jumps are going to end up coming in as USF stabilizes a bit. They're able to save that final checkpoint, and they're going to have another chance in this game. If game 1 was indicative of anything, these games could go to the very end no matter what these teams do on offense. So we'll have to keep an eye out, but Husky Splatsville Knights are still keeping up the aggression.
I mean, let's also be real. That's a strong first push because that second checkpoint is so hard to pass by, and you need to be able to win out all your fights at that point in time, which they were able to do so. But from what, as you mentioned before, this has been such a back and forth from that first map. If that is of any indication, we could be seeing the same thing. But South Florida needs to get themselves back on track. Love to see if that Haya on that range flash is able to deliver value, because I believe that is a decent weapon here on this map that could get a lot, that can make a lot of work. As we, by the way, see Husky Splatsville Knights, 2 members invest on the left-hand side, leaves Nexus and Brand to defend on the right, and that tower is going to be stalled just where it stands. They're able to take out one. There's going to be the second one going down on top of it, and this tower is only going to slowly retreat back to mid. They're going to have to make another attempt to get to the second checkpoint for South Florida, but if anything, it was still a valiant go at it. But they may have another chance now. 2 members have gone down, escape routes being set up. Brand is still trying to work that Nautilus in. They are able to get the pick onto the pencil, which is very nice. And we are back to this neutral fight here, but South Florida might be able to get some points on the board.
Yeah, High on this left side doing a great job. They find 2 huge picks, but yeah, the lacking thing has indeed been that right side. Haya able to team up, and now a wipe. USF moving the tower past that second checkpoint that lets their teammates move forward, jump up, moving all the way to that final checkpoint. It's 2 members down, but a suction bomb finds a pick on that tower. Huskies stabilize before the tower gets to that checkpoint, and now those 24 points on the board are effectively just that second checkpoint being taken. So huge stop coming out from the Huskies, but USF showed a lot of great aggression there. They need to take care of the right side on their offense if they want to do it again. And here we go. This seems like they're going to have another opportunity. Flacco moving forward. Haya again watching the right side. Here's Flacco. They have an Inkzuka to watch that right side. We'll see if they're going to be able to do anything with it. Brand sharking on the right side, but the battle on the left is not going so hot right now, and it seems like USF's going to have to wait up a bit, try and stabilize. Flacco, nice movement, finds a pick, and is going to help this push stay alive, but it's not looking so great as 2 members of USF go down and the Huskies storm back into mid.
Both teams are kind of investing on both sides of the map. Here, you see that Huskies Splatsville Knights, you see 1 member there. They're going to throw 2 members in onto that left side as we speak. Nexus and Sakura is there. They're just trying to make sure that South Florida doesn't get any clearances to work with on this within the same vein. 2 other members going to go on to that left hand side to defend the tower. And I love this kind of split focus that they got going on right now. But what South Florida needs is to be able to not only clear out both sides effectively. They gotta take out some key members there. Sakura is going to be the one that tried to escape, not able to get the jump cleared out, and it's going to be 13 seconds left to go on the clock. And now this is the big chance for South Florida. 4 members up, but there is a possible GG Booyah there that could basically get everybody off the tower in a hurry, which they are going to pop. Great patient play right now, but can they get this one through? Kraken's going to be there, and it is actually going to take out 2 members at that stage. Kraken's being pushed out and is sent out of bounds. Only here in tower control would that such an event actually ever happen. And Fusion, that's going to be, I believe, a 2-0 victory there for the Huskies Splatsville Knights. Love it.
They held the Booyah so long, and the Range Blaster notoriously not great at object damage. That Booyah nicely timed, able to even knock the Kraken all the way off the tower, and that's what the Huskies needed. They had that surefire way to win the game at the end. They were able to close it out compared to that first game where, despite the Zookas and potential Kraken coming from USF, they were still able to get the picks and move the Rainmaker forward. So that's going to be the Huskies moving on to the next round.
You know, I am going to give the bonus points for this very silly Kraken interaction, which I know Kraken's not necessarily great at holding the tower there. Also, very unfortunate that Dabuya, by the way, took out both shot users there, so that there just went any chances of the short range weapons getting any work done. I still found it really funny in real time, Fusion, just seeing the Kraken get pushed off it into the just gone into the void there in the mart. So to speak. So Huskies Westville Knights, of course, moving on to the next round there. South Florida eliminated here in round 1. I believe Fusion, we will need to get our stuff situated and ready to go for round 2, and I think every team's going to be thinking the exact same thing. So quick break for us. Hopefully we'll get the next matchup ready to go here soon. When we come back, here CCA Qualifier 4.
we'll start falling, falling, falling. Cause we'll start falling, falling, falling. Cause we'll start falling.
Welcome back, everybody, to CCA Qualifier 4. I'm Keon, Fusion's still with me. Once again, though, with the CCA Circuit action heating up, we are very excited to announce that Asus ROG is the sponsor of the CCA Circuit. Their esports initiative is giving the CCA Circuit prizing support to our top teams for the season, and we are happy to have them join on as our prizing sponsor. You can find out more about their elite rewards program by typing !Asus in Twitch chat. Thank you to Asus ROG for their support of the Collegiate Splatoon scene. And of course, part of me has always asked here, Fusion. I wish back then for us we were able to get into the whole Collegiate Splatoon scene earlier.
Yeah,
Love it every time.
Just checking. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
We finally hear you. Well, I'll give you a few minutes.
I have the most sensitive mic plug in the world, where if I bump it, it stops working, and now it's wedged into the port with a clothes pin.
Oh no!
Not pin, sorry. Whatever, clothes hanger, whatever they're called. Yeah. Anyway,
I got you.
I bumped that a bit while you were shouting out Asus ROG. But yeah, we're going to be hopping into our next match in just a second. UCSD Esports Gold against Halley. Halley? Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. You said you couldn't go any week without commentating UCSD. So you've commentated them in the past?
I've commentated, I think so. My history fusion with UCSD Esports Gold dates all the way back to the inaugural CCA League. Going all the way back to the Splatoon 2 era, I feel like I've been surrounded by this team for a long time. UCSD Esports Gold, which by the way spawned right in, they are the gold team. Halley's on the blue. UCSD Esports Gold lost CD Woomy and Enda to graduation. So they got two members in, and we're going to be seeing one of them. Kosami is going to be in with the Stamper as well. And we do have Halley, which by the way on the blue side, they're with Rioch, David Vessel, and Awesome. As we take a quick look at the weapons here, Fusion, the more fascinating pick is the E-Leader from UCSD Esports Gold, but when you consider that it's Goldchild, who is probably one of the who is an E-Leader specialist, it is no surprise. Going to be intrigued to see how this entire game plays out, as map 1 is going to be Clan Blitz on Scorch. Yeah,
E-Leader, I feel like not something you typically see on Clan Blitz. Definitely much more of a zones pick, but they are opting with the Beacon variant, so could be very useful if UCSD is able to get things going and take control of mid. They're doing just that right now, finding 2 picks, and now they have some clam economy. They're looking to move up that right side. They're going to go for that first push. The Zipcaster comes in, not able to find a pick. They do actually find one with a slash, and that is going to open the way for the first score of the game. Now comboing with Goatchild, E-Leader turning it up with the Kraken. That's going to be a big opening push for UCSD, and they're not done just yet. They're a little bit out of clam, so they're going to have to slow down, and we'll see how long they're going to be able to hang on. As a nice burst bump combo finds 1 pick, but that's going to be the end of the push. Nice opening push, a clam and some change, as Halley's going to have to come back and just get some points on the board, but they're having a bit of difficulty really getting through mid with that E-Leader pressuring.
The E-Leader pressure from Goldchild is just doing a few wonders there. And that Zuka, I was going to note there, Brioche was going to use that Zuka to target Goldchild, and it pretty much was used exactly to that effect. And that should hopefully clear up a little bit more space there for Halley to strike through. They did lose the carbon, then there goes the Slosher, and Gosami is deciding to say, nah, you did take out Go Child, but I'm gonna be the one that you'll have to face next, and that pretty much stalls out Halley, their UCSD Esports Gold. They did lose 2 of their own, but they at least retained mid, and they could be looking for another push here soon. And that snipe from Go Child onto Little David was spectacular on top of it. So UCSD Esports Gold holding on very well so far. Brioche is looking for the other answer, but not quite there yet. And both teams kind of stalled out into this neutral state right now. UCSD Esports Gold, the only one that held on to it until that Zuka from Brioche may have opened the door for Halley. That was a nice triple there, Fusion.
Yeah, I think that was a quad too, just a little bit delayed. Brioche just tearing a hole through UCSD, finding one more for good measure. They're going to finally be taken out by Opal over here, and that is going to slow down the push. Halley has the lead now, but they don't have any more clams online. They're not going to be able to further their score, so just at single power clam and a half is going to be the differential in points. Halley has control of mid here. They're going to look to hang onto it. Lil David fishing on that left side for a pick, not able to find anything. Vessel just trying to aim for another cooler as the Zipcaster from UCSD looking to open things up. Kosame turns everybody around, not able to find anything off it, but that's going to afford UCSD some time to get control of mid and hopefully just really get their paint back on the board.
And exactly as you noted, you're just getting any sort of paint back on the board there for UCSD, and also looking to see if they can retain lead back. That push, by the way, down to 57 points could have been so much more worse with the way the Zuka was set up for success from Brioche there earlier, but it didn't. But all it amounts to just the 11-point deficit, still very much manageable here for UCSD Esports Gold if they can take advantage. But and also trying to have other ideas, not able to land a Zuka shot right then and there. And it looks like Halley still trying to pressure the rest of UCSD Esports Gold out. So don't be surprised if we do see Kosami lurking large there. As Brioche, takes out Ocean Opal. Goldchild's gonna be the one diving deep into the Kraken. It will take out and Awesome as well. It's a bit of a brawly fight, so to speak, stuck into this neutral state here. Fusion. Of course, with the more time it takes down, Halley is going to be happy about it, so they're just trying to see if they can hold for as long as they can. Both teams can't even get past mid and can't even find the other basket here soon.
Yeah, I mean, Halley is happy to just play patiently at this point, but they actually have a member. Okay, they're able to chase Kasami out from their spawn here, and now the Stamper looking to try and create an opening, but and Awesome able to find 2 picks and able to get saved from behind by a teammate. One more power clam never hurt anybody. Halley looking to open things up, and that's exactly what they do. And Awesome finds a pick with that Zuko. The power clam is at the ready. They're going to dive. Yes, they're able to get it into the basket. They break the penalty. Here comes some extra scores. That's now more than a single power clam lead. Opal finds a pick. Here come the points. Now a big lead as the Zuka from Brioche finds 2 more. It's gonna be a wipeout. The power clam's making its way to the basket. That is gonna be game 1 going to Halley.
Yeah, that pretty much went from 0 to 100 there in the last 40 seconds, and Halley played that one spectacularly there, and almost a team effort, if you will, from Brioche and the rest of the group there. Brioche just was doing it by themselves on that first push, and and that train just kept on going for Halley there. And Halley, by the way, winners from Qualifier 1, trying to see if they can continue to get more points on the board for the circuit here, as we do get to see the last 20 seconds. That snipe from Goldchild was still excellent, but there's the trip strike, zones out everybody else there. They get the first push in. All the clams that they had in the economy was just going to get cashed in. Then they're still playing this one a little patiently for sure. UCSD Esports Gold just trying to find any sort of way in. And I was wondering, it was just a lone Zuka that was just waiting in the wings, and it just pretty much says GG, well played there, Fusion. And that was a great first map for Halley.
Yeah, absolutely. They kind of stormed back right at the end, just put the game away, and that's kind of, it's brave to make a push like that with time ticking down, because you mess things up, you get a couple members down, you kind of give the enemy, you could give the enemy team a free chance to push there. But really, the Ink Zukas that came out from Halley put the game away. There's some like surfaces on the map that just kind of arc so perfectly for the Ink Zuka, shooting from exactly the spot that Brioche and Awesome shot from. Is one of them on Scorch Gorge. The Mako Mart stacks are another one. where they start flat and then they dip down. You
Yeah.
just get the Zuka to trace along the land, and that's exactly what Halley did there, really taking advantage of that, and just pushing super well together. As time ticked down, we're going to be moving on to the next map. Let's see what's going to happen here as we go to Rainmaker this time. I think this might be a more maybe more desirable map for E-Leader. This is definitely an E-Leader map in general. Rainmaker Museum, huge open areas. We'll see if Goatchild's going to be able to find some nice picks here. I think UCSD just had that. They had that game pretty close for the most part, and they just were not able to really get a big push at any point in that game. They kind of had a big opportunity at the start, but they were not able to capitalize off it quite as much. They lost the lead off of those 2 power claims coming in from Halley. So we'll see what they do on Rainmaker.
And pretty much stuck in that neutral state there. The first initial push, and they just found nothing afterwards. And I wondered if Awesome and Brioche may have played a major factor into that, with not just the weapons that they played. Their Brioche, of course, was just a menace on that carbon roller deco there earlier. So maybe this could be a little bit more desirable for them, especially if Goatchild wants to go back to E-Leader. We could be seeing another flex, by the way, not just from the Kraken, but also the regular E-Leader, which they have also played a bunch on that as well. Here, so just taking a quick look at the stats here. If I do have the stats as accurate as I have, which probably means well, I may have some that are missing. Halley itself, I believe, has a pretty good win rate here on Rainmaker. So there's a lot of things that will help benefit Halley coming into this one, especially with the way that they've been playing so far. Maybe we could be seeing another game where Brioche is on that kind of roller deco. I'm gonna have to hold on to that thought here. Are those Dark Tetras? They totally are. Blasters in with Dark Tetras.
Yes,
Okay.
they are. I was actually anticipating the Tetras maybe in game 1. UCSD has pretty much every game they've had in the past has had a Tetra dualies, so I'm happy to see them come out here. I feel like people might be sleeping on Tetras, but I feel like Tetras are a little bit more popular now than they have been in the past. Yeah, we'll see what they're going to be able to do with that here. Blaster already able to find a pick, looking for more, able to navigate around these corners super well. They're going to team up, find one more pick, and a really, really early first checkpoint from UCSD. And Awesome's the last one by this Rainmaker. They're going to go for it, but they're not able to find the pick on the Rain. That's going to be Opal moving forward, diving all the way to 27. Huge push. That's only 45 seconds into the game. Big push online. Halley has a lot of room and a lot of paint to get back into the map with, but huge early advantage. UCSD can play a little bit more conservative about that first checkpoint and feel comfortable about it.
That it almost is a even stronger for first initial push in across this set here, but UCSD may have gotten a little too comfortable there as they got completely wiped out. This should be the first checkpoint coming up here soon for Halley, which they should be able to. And now look at Brioche and Awesome already moving upwards. They take 3 members out, and this could get out of control in a hurry if UCSD's defense doesn't clamp down. There are the trip strikes. They're actually going to buy themselves a few more seconds there. Nerdy Adam's trying to dive right in, and the Rainmaker is stalled with 29 points remaining, 2-point difference, so to speak. And then there's 3 members. They're all trying to jump it right now, and this could be a little too opportunistic here for Halley. They are holding on for dear life, but Brioche is just a little bit late, and UCSD is like, no, we gotta get this Rainmaker out of there quick. And now they're racing it to the other side. Nerdy Adam is on their own mission. What is going on here? Fusion Vessel takes them out. We have a chance to low breathe there. 2-point difference, almost a strong push from Halley, just a little bit short.
Oh my god, I had a flashback to, I can't even remember what game it was, but it was like Starburst versus somebody else where there was a dive for that Rainmaker on this same map at the same spot. But this time, Rainmaker dived off the ledge, and UCSD able to hang on to that lead. So that lead, again, that's just the checkpoint out of the way. Halley's going to have to make yet another big push if they want to win. But UCSD has been a little bit shaky on their feet since they made that first big push. They're maybe getting a little bit eager for those for the pick on the Rainmaker for just early stops. They need to remember that they have specials that they can use to really stall and fight together as a team. We saw how useful those strikes were on defense, and the Inkjet could be equally useful as well. So UCSD has a lot of room to be patient. They just need to remember that they have the time.
And an interesting thing you noted with the Inkjet, because that is on Goatchild on ballpoint duty. Normally we saw Goatchild in that E-leader last time. In fact, I'm trying to remember the exact last time I've had to call a match where Goatchild was anything other than the E-leader, but it has been often. But well, I'm going to hold on to that thought here, because it looks like Halley might be looking to move up 4 members up, and that's actually enough pain. But again, just short by a point. How is UCSD holding on so strong? That is incredible, and they've been wiped out. Fusion, I feel like I'm having all the flashbacks here. In my case, it was Riptide Game 5 in Grand Finals, where it's just a menacing dive there, just trying to get even a sliver of a lead, and it's only 1 minute 15 seconds. Once again, cut short. The difference for me, though, is that there's a lot of time left on the clock for Halley to still strike big, but UCSD, another clutch defensive hold.
Yeah, oh my god. The points the lead nearly being flipped in Halley's favor. UCSD hanging on for their tournament life here. It's going to be hard to get it back if they do lose that lead. The specials are going to come out. They've been coming out very early. Oh my god! Vessel nearly getting away with it there. That would have been an unfortunate way to lose the lead, but they get stopped just in the nick of time. And Awesome back at that Rainmaker contesting the pop. They look like they're going to be able to get it here. Only a few points separate the lead, but they're not going to take any chances. Nerdy Adam just diving for that Rainmaker way ahead of time, anticipating that Halley's going to back up and have to regroup. That's a very funny dive there, but still not over yet. Halley jumping back in for yet another opportunity. 15 seconds left. Vessel hanging on with that Rainmaker, stalling. There's not going to be a flank around the right side. It's just going to be the members of UCSD from high ground. The low ground gets cleared up. Nerdy Adam is watching. They don't have a special just yet. They dive really early. They're not going to find the pick on that carbon roller. The Rainmaker's going to make its way forward, and that's going to be the lead. Halley is going to take game 2, and that is going to be the set. Halley winning and moving onwards.
This entire game needs to be studied here, Fusion, for just everything. I feel like we both had flashbacks from other events in the past with Museum Rainmaker. Every single time, both teams are almost playing so opportunistically. In fact, I don't know if any of them are advised or not. That's ultimately the question I have, but I'll get to that here in a bit. As we get to see the game-winning push here with 15 seconds left to go on the clock. Yeah, I believe all 3 members were up there, but the rest of UCSD kind of down in almost a staggered setup there. They're having to basically respawn one by one, and that fight being won out by Awesome at the end. And you called it out here too. Adam just jumping a little too early. I think they saw Vessel just pop up just a bit, but Brioche was patiently waiting and realizing, oh wait, Adam's right there, and then there's all the space in the world for Halley to swipe lead. I think that entire map just gave me so many emotions there, Fusion, and we're the ones calling it.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that map is definitely going to cause me some anxiety attacks. It's a difficult map to push on. It's a very stressful map with time ticking down. It's easy to like blink for a second and then they dive the Rainmaker past the lead, but it's also a good idea to like stick on high ground because you can apply so much paint control. Halley, amazing job being patient and then stepping on the gas when they had the opportunity. Just with time ticking down. We saw that in the first game as well. We saw that in the last set as well. All of these sets have been incredible so far, and this is the 4-5 matchup, you said? So yeah. I can only anticipate that these matches are going to get even crazier as we go on.
Yeah, I mean, the way this entire... The way we saw the first 2, both back and forth, by the way, it almost felt like one team could just... I'm thinking we actually did lose our streamer here, so we might be back? We might be back?
We're so back.
I think we are. if the producer can hear us, will give us a knock here. Give us. All right, that's good enough. That's good enough.
We're live.
Yeah, we're back. Yeah, just trying to iron out some issues. I was gonna say, hopefully we get to see all the pinforce in the world there as this replay continues to live rent free in my mind.
Yeah. I mean, if we are live, that was very good awareness from Halley. They were able to kind of keep an eye out on all sides. They had someone flanking from mid. They got the pick with the Zuka. There was someone on the other side of the spinner. They were aware of that as well. Just watching from all angles, and they were able to take advantage of that to take the lead.
Yeah, for sure, and I want to see how this play how the rest of this tournament pretty much all plays out here as well. I'm trying to see what the actual okay, I do have a cue as to what the actual matchup is at this stage. If you do get to see this replay, still this entire map, I'm sorry, Fusion, this entire map is still going to live rent free in my head for about a couple more hours. I think the more I keep looking at the replays here every time, especially just watching that entire game just play out, it's just going to drive me nuts the entire way through. But I can give myself a bit of a breather. We do have another matchup. Oh my goodness, it's all here, and oh my goodness, the cat is awake now, Fusion.
Sorry,
just
had to pay the
cat. All the offerings to the cat. Give the cat attention. I'll take you guys through this one. Death Roll versus Old Bay Brigade. I am actually. I'm gonna have the producer tell me through which college Old Bay Brigade is associated with, but I do know Death Roll is associated with University of Florida here. Yes. So I'll be curious to see how both teams play out. But Old Bay Brigade is gonna be here once more, and this is the third best of 3, which I believe we just what. Producer just told us it is the University of Maryland. Yes.
Yes. Old Bay gotta be one of the top 20 things you could put on fish.
Is it kind of weird that I actually never put Old Bay?
What?
I feel like it should at some point. I feel like I should at some point. We'll give you guys the 5 minutes while I try to figure out where my bearings are at this point. By the way, so what we have here for bracket round 3, by the way, is also another Strike 2 setup here. It's gonna be Crab Leg Rainmaker, Hagelfish Tower Control, Mako Mart Zones, Barnacle and Dime Clan Blitz, and Ramen Rainmaker, which I still throw me off that Ramen Rainmaker is making a resurgence, but hey, a lot of people are liking that map now, so gonna be a treat to see what both teams opting to strike out, which, by the way, I've the words here as well. My comment about Ramen Rainmaker, I think Death Roll or Florida didn't want to deal with that either, so they struck that one out, and we're just waiting here on what Old Bay likes to strike out here. So gonna be curious to see how both these teams, what both these teams opt to do, especially with the Old Bay's map that could get striked. I think. Oh,
ooh, okay. It's going to be Crab Leg that gets striked. So both Rainmaker maps are gone. We're just going to be playing TC Haggle, Zones Mako, and then Clams Barnacle on Dime if necessary. Very interesting. I think that this is sometimes words are hard to find, but I'm a little bit interested in like what kind of dynamic UF's going to be running, because I know Nico Chico as a blob player. I don't know if Nico Chico is here today, but they are an excellent anchor player with a lot of interesting weapons like Blob and Explo, I think, in particular. So curious to see that. A lot of buckets coming out from Death Roll, whereas we actually have a Roller and a Nautilus very frequently coming out from University of Maryland, from Old Bay Brigade. Ooh.
And I think we just heard, I think we both were about to react the same way. This is a rematch from today's Swiss stages, specifically round 3. So both these teams are gonna be facing off each other there. And the stats that we have is that Death Roll won that one 2-1 actually, which if maybe history could repeat itself in terms of Game 3. Obviously, Old Bay Brigade doesn't want to necessarily lose the set once more and get eliminated at this stage here. So, gonna be intrigued how both teams, now that they run into each other again here in our bracket stage here, which by the way is gonna be Div 1. Waiting to see how that all plays out. And Nico Chico, I think, has been a name that has been flown around for quite a long time, actually, here in the Splatoon landscape, unless I'm getting my names mixed up here. So, gonna be intrigued to see how Florida Death Roll specifically plays throughout. I think.
Oh,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm honestly, I love to see all the different names that teams are pulling out. They're like, Old Bay Brigade is Maryland, and then Death Roll is the Gators. Very cool. It's kind of interesting to try and guess like what college they are based on some of their names. Like honestly, I could have guessed Death Roll was the Gators, but there's some like Banana Split. I couldn't tell you the time of day.
I've been around the collegiate Splatoon scene long enough, so I wouldn't be able to. So unfortunately, I can only be cheating here from here on out here, Fusion. Unfortunately for you, I think an interesting. I'll quiz you while both teams are basically figuring things out. Which, by the way, we're just being told it's weapon select. So I'll make it quick for you. But if you could even think of the state, because I think the university may not be as familiar, where you have Comet Blasters and Stars of Orion, where would you do you think you have an idea on with which college it would be, or not really?
Comet Blasters and Stars of Orion.
It's the same college.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah. Point all the historical stuff. Do you think you would have a guess?
This is hard. I feel like it's got to be something more northern. If I were to guess, let's go with Oregon. It's probably the East Coast.
Believe it or not, it's UTD or University of
Really?
Texas Dallas.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, the Lone Star State. Oh.
There you go. Now you can put the two and two together.
I was like, what state has to do with stars? I couldn't think of it for like the longest time. There we go. But we're gonna be hopping in.
Yeah, let's go.
Into a game 1. Death Roll and Old Bay Brigade. Bamboozler on one side, Roller on the other. This is very interesting to see. Yeah, Nico Chico on the Roller. Oh, and is that Flavor on the Roller? Interesting. Yeah. So some very familiar names to me, and a lot of aggression coming out from Old Bay Brigade at the start of this match here. The member on the tower is going to get taken out. Old Bay Brigade's push is going to come to a quick close here as Death Roll just swallowing up the competition, and they're going to be able to paint back into mid and get a offense going of their own.
I'm actually intrigued about that Bamboozler pick right away from Death Roll. That's the one weapon I was like, okay, I didn't expect that, but I appreciate the usage of it too. So like to see what kind of value it will get for Death Roll there. Which, by the way, a few Zuka shots takes a few members out of the picture there, and Nico Chico on that pencil, just throwing out more pain. There's the cooler out, I believe I just saw from earlier, and this should be the lead change. More important, the checkpoint being cleared out as well. And now here comes the contest for that second checkpoint. They're going to jump right into it, and a nice little tap shot takes out Fell there, and it's actually another member going down on top of it, and this kind of a mess of a fight there, and it ends with Old Bay Brigade going 3 down, and this push could keep going. Trip strikes used for defensive reasons here, and B3 is going to have to retreat back here for just a few more moments. 2 members going down, by the way, now on Death Rolls, and Old Bay Brigade may have been able to hold off for just a little bit longer. Yes, they will. Tower slowly resetting, but there's a lot of yellow paint on the board here for Death Roll, so Old Bay Brigade will have to retake any turf that they can get.
Yeah, honestly, that was a very solid defense coming out from Old Bay Brigade. We saw how they staggered the ink strikes on the tower. They did not allow that second checkpoint. That is the most important part of this map. Old Bay Brigade hung onto it just by being patient. Of course, Flavor by being a human nuke on the tower, just dropping onto it and taking out everybody in the process. And yeah, this bamboo on the side of Death Roll, I feel like has been paying dividends so far. It's been very good on offense and very solid on defense. I think the double Fizzy Bomb with the Tri-Slosher is a very nice combo that's been working out so far for Death Roll, but Old Bay Brigade still has a lot of time left in the game. 2 minutes left. They have specials online. The chumps are going to come in, but this 2-member disadvantage could spell trouble for Death Roll here. The strikes are going to come out. That's going to clear some space. Here comes the roller moving forward. Are they going to be able to find any picks? No. They're going to shark under the ledge. They do! The Tri-Slosher gets baited in. The tower's going to make its way to that checkpoint, and that is going to be first going to Old Bay Brigade. The tower rolling towards that second checkpoint. Old Bay Brigade could go even further here.
Yeah, it could go even further for sure. They enter the second checkpoint on top of it. In fact, 2 members from Death Roll already going down right away. There's that bubble. Actually, a very good placement of the bubble, and it stalls out the rest of Death Roll's defense there. They cleared the all-important second checkpoint, and that roller is doing a lot of work there, but except it's going to be down to the pencil, and it's down to 19 points remain. Approaching the third checkpoint, as it stands, that is a solid push there from Old Bay Brigade, and a nice little answer there on top of it. Death Roll is going to be the one moving up ahead now. Now they got to be the ones to get the lead. Going to be curious to see how the rest of this team sets up there. Unfortunately, Curling Bomb takes out Andrew, and that roller once again strikes big. Nitro goes down from that as well. Bit of a brawl, but Death Roll needs to have another push left in the tank, and Old Bay Brigade is gonna try to stop any of that from happening here. Fusion.
Yeah, they just need to hang on at this point. The bubble could help them hold on to mid-ground, but are they going to need that? Fell finds 1 pick on the back line. Very important. So now, Death Roll with 2 members down. That's actually a 2v2 situation. They have an opportunity to move forward, but they need to be conservative about their specials. They need to be able to break through that second checkpoint, which is oh so difficult. They need to get someone into that top right, but before they do that, they need to clear out mid, and Flavor's going to be able to win the fight. The bubble comes out. They find 2, and now they're an unstoppable wall. Old Bay Brigade's going to hang on with some space. Flavor finds 1 more pick. The chumps even baiting them there. So Old Bay Brigade going to find the picks, gonna stabilize in mid. Time is ticking down. There needs to be a dive for the tower. Death Roll touches. The strikes come forward. Miku Plush is going to seal this game away, and Old Bay Brigade takes the advantage 1-0.
How about that push, by the way, that we saw from earlier that cleared out the second checkpoint, then just started to continue to roll there for Old Bay Brigade, and Mention Flavors just did a great job on that roller there to at least able to take that right hand side and then just try to get the rest of Death Roll staggered through on defense. But hey, you got 19 points remain, and then able to rebound on defense. Your big goal now is prevent a push from Death Roll from happening, because that tower, to quote a few favorite friends of mine, can only go in 1 speed. It has to crawl its way back, and Death Roll pretty much needed to hold any sort of ground as long as they can on offense, but Flavor on that roller just had other ideas, and that's a great first map right away for Old Bay Brigade. And love to see how the second map plays out, and what Death Roll tries to tries to deal with Old Bay Brigade, especially if Flavor continues to dish out a lot of value out of that roller.
Yeah, I mean, very very well played there, that game from Old Bay Brigade. But all that being said, we're going to be moving to Splat Zones on Mako Mart, and if you like buckets, this is the map for it. So we'll see what happens, because Old Bay Brigade may have a hard time with the Slosher and Tri-Slosher coming out from Death Roll, maybe even a Blobber, mayhaps. I'm actually anticipating maybe an Explosher coming out here. But that's just me being hopeful. I like buckets. I had a very good time in Splatoon 2 playing 4 bucket comp for a short while. It works surprisingly well, especially if the only map you pick is Mako Zones. But yeah, this could be huge, especially since Death Roll coming off of the 2-1 victory in Swiss, they've definitely got potential to win these games, and we'll see if they can show it here.
You know, for all the bucket enthusiasts out there, we did see 2 buckets rather from Death Roll. I'd be stunned and flabbergasted if they choose to switch off of it. Hey, your dreams came true here, Fusion. There is indeed an Expo. There are 3 buckets on the board, by the way, for Death Roll. That's Nico Chico, of course, on that Expo. I believe the other team, Old Bay Brigade, maybe very minimal changes. Again, look up for Flavor on that roller. But Fusion, the Expo is online.
God, inexperience from playing against that Explo. They are so difficult to. Yeah, exactly. You rush them down and they hit a 90. That's kind of just how it goes. Oh my god. Yeah, already those picks helping clear up, and they're going to combo super well with the fizzy bombs coming out from that tri-slosher. We'll see. Oh my god, yeah, and you rush them down, the splashdown comes out as well. Death Roll, despite this early advantage, Old Bay Brigade has the zone, and Old Bay Brigade still respawning, able to get back in and maintain a solid presence in the middle of the map. So Death Roll has some advantage here, especially with that 3-down situation, but how well are they going to be able to press it with the 3 buckets online? Are they going to be able to really deal with the range coming out from the Nautilus and the Pencil on the other side? But time is ticking. We'll see what what Old Bay Brigade is going to have to say about it.
Nico just got a pick from the Explode to the Pencil. May have slowed them down just a little bit more, and now things are starting to settle in here for Old Bay Brigade. They got to figure out any sort of way to deal with the Explode. 1 out of 3 buckets have gone down. There's the second one dropping as well. They may have to give up ground here, just fight for this another day, unless they are able to at least neutralize or stabilize for just a few more moments. Doesn't look like it will be the case there. And Old Bay Brigade, nice response. It's down to 36 points remaining for Death Roll, 44 more points in for the penalty there on top. But so far, the Old Bay Brigade needs to find that entrance there, and it looked like Flavor, by the way, from the other side was trying to lurk large, trying to see if they can take out any part of the backline that exists. But the rest of Death Roll is all over that, and now they take out Flavor. Now how do you move forward? Their cooler's been dished out on top of it. The zone's just kind of stuck in neutral for a little bit more. There's not much openings there quite yet. Will the Zuga find value through any of it? They will take out the Pencil. That's actually a huge find nevertheless, but it is still being traded left and right, and this game has gotten even closer here. Old Bay Brigade could be looking for the lead here soon. The triple splash node takes out 2. It's not enough to flip zone though. Old Bay Brigade holds on to that zone for just a little bit longer, and they will get it back, and this has been a back and forth fight here, Fusion.
Oh my god, yeah. Death Roll just fighting together as a unit. Andrew's been doing the darndest to try and get in. Andrew and B3 gonna have to do some work on this left side to really clear out the zone here. They need that forward presence. Here's going to be the contest at the end as time's ticking down. Old Bay Brigade, 2 members of them go down. They're taking the zone down, but they're gonna be able to hang on just barely. Death Roll is take it out. Old Bay Brigade.
Man, I think it happened. There you go.
Hang on.
I got you. I immediately picked up on it. Wow. Okay. So I was wondering for several moments there, Fusion. If of course you can hear me right then and there. I was wondering for several moments. I felt there were multiple chances that Death Roll, with the 3 buckets that they had in such a strong early lead, was able to get the zones back. They fought pretty valiantly, all things considered. I also partially wonder if the rest of Old Bay Brigade, with the pain that they had for the Sniper Rider and of the Neo Splash on top of it that Razor also had, was just a bit much for Death Roll to counter, because we saw them almost get a lot of value there. But even with all the special investment and all the buckets usage they had on the board, they never found a way to neutralize zone and get the zones back at that moment in time. And I was kind of shocked myself there too. But I think Old Bay Brigade's painting just pretty much held at just the right moments.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I think, the 4, I was going to say the 4 buckets, Death Roll with their buckets was kind of playing as a fortress, but having a hard time really moving back in, because just the range from Death Roll contesting them as they, or the range from Old Bay Brigade as Death Roll was dropping into mid was very hard for them to contest, especially when you have a roller sharking around. You need to be careful. That left stack was probably going to be key, but Old Bay Brigade really did a great job, especially with the bubble coming out, just kind of getting in their face, stopping Death Roll from dropping forward, and that's going to net Old Bay Brigade a spot in the finals.
Yeah, and hey, I think Old Bay Brigade, unfortunately my memory is getting a little foggier, but the fact that they got revenge on top of it too, Fusion, that's the big thing. They got their revenge on Death Roll there from the Swiss rounds, and they take Death Roll out of the bracket stages here in Div 1. That's an excellent performance from Old Bay Brigade overall. Maybe some adaptation did play out for for Old Bay Brigade to just move on forward. I just got word, by the way, Fusion, that the other semifinals between Halley and the UCF Knights of Central Florida, for all the redundancy's sake, has just started. So, Fusion, that will give us some time to give ourselves a little bit of breather before we hit the grands. Maybe we all deserve one right now. So when we come back after the conclusion of Central UCF Knights and Halley on the other side, we will get you guys coverage of grand finals. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss a thing. We'll be right back here for Qualifier 4.
When I look in your eyes, I see the stars. They're shooting from the sky as if thrown from Mars. Hold me tight, please don't let me down. 'Cause we'll start falling, falling, falling towards the ground. 'Cause we'll start falling, falling, falling. 'Cause we'll start falling, falling, falling. 'Cause we'll start falling. Yeah, we said we let it go, but we settled for the last. Couldn't let you want it though. Who am I to let you down? No, who am I to let you down? Down, down.
Inside lane, missing exits, glued to the pavement. Between the lines, I'll keep my gaze straight ahead as the last stop flies by. No more waiting for the gun to fire. No more walking through revolving doors. I've gone around once, and I don't need to go around anymore. Break away, forget your sober case. Stop dwelling on empty words. Stop stalling in the doorway. And cancel the cruise control. Switch it in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right? Full steam through the setbacks. You can't win them all, but I'm proud I tried. I'm glad we had a dialogue. It's good to shake the mind. Speeding up the pace, turning up the heat. Where I need to be for the first time. Taking risks, I'm casting off without a lifeline. Break away, forget your sober case. Stop dwelling on empty words. Stop stalling in the doorway. And cancel the cruise control. Switch it in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right again? Don't you wanna feel whole? Don't you wanna feel?
Welcome back, everybody, to CCA Qualifier for the Fall 2024 season coming up here, and we got bonus. We got a bonus coverage here for you in the semifinal side. UCF Knights and Arc Halley. I'm still killing. It's still Fusion on the other side. Just to get you guys up to speed, they struck out both the first two maps of the rotation. Excuse me, that's a good sign that of where I'm at right now. They just wrapped up Mako Zones. Central Florida or UCF Knights won that one, so we're going to be going into the second map of this rotation, Barnacle and Dime Clan Blitz, and if we do have to go to the third map, it's Ramen Rainmaker. I mean, Fusion, jumping right into it, we just saw Arc Halley earlier. They're down 1-0 here, but Central Florida, from what I've gathered up so far, no slouches either, and they're giving Arc Halley a run for their money right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, UCF Knights came in, I believe they had a bye in the first round. They're the first seed. So very strong team. The kind of anticipated favorites. I was like, my brain wanted to say overdogs, but that's not a word. Anyways, interesting comps coming out with the more recently popular Decavitator coming out from UCF Knights, as well as a custom blaster, and opting for the cooler with the Firefin for support. You don't typically see the Firefin, so I'm interested to see if Astral's going to be able to get some work done. Especially having those strikes is going to be very useful to get in. The bubble can help pay it off, but the heavy edit on the other side is going to certainly contest with that high pace comp. UCF Knights moving in, trying to find that opening. They find some clams, but get caught out from behind, and that's going to cost them dearly as Arc Halley storms back into mid. They find some picks, and surprise, Arc Halley scores.
Throwing everybody off here. Eggle's able to slash down 2. That's gonna be another member going down. That is the first push on the board. It's just a one and done push, by the way, for Arc Halley. So UCF Knights, which by the way just spawned the other power clan, now it's already down. Just one clan for the quick lead change if they're able to get so, but they're gonna lose 2 on their way to doing that. And the rest of Arc Halley actually not able to fend them off just enough. One member does throw in the extra clan. All that being said and done, though, Fusion, it's just a 3-point deficit, so it's not really much to speak of so far. Of course, any power clan push is gonna swing lead the other direction. Both teams playing very fast, trying to get points on the board, trying to find ways to make it happen, especially with very sneaky pushes that we just saw earlier.
Yeah, a lot of clam juggling going on. Brioche finds the way in, but is not able to find a pick onto the charger, and that is going to cost a potential big push here. Vessel finds a few clams. Arcaley grabs back the lead, but we are just trading minimum scores for minimum scores. The power clam makes its way into the basket, but not anymore. Ego has that bubble online. They may use it here to just try and secure control of mid, but the strikes are going to force Arcaley into a fight here. They're going to be moving up onto the stack, and yes, there comes the bubble. They're going to challenge Ego there. Ego is able to find one pick, able to move even further in the splashdown, clearing off mid. UCF Knights taking their time, moving forward, and Ego, nice picks, clearing the way. That's going to be another power claim in the basket with one, and potentially the pity even to come after if they're able to get a jump to peace. No, that's not going to happen this time. So UCF Knights is going to have to settle for the 2 power clam push that puts them into a pretty solid lead.
The pretty sizable lead on top of it. I was wondering if we're going to have a game of just trading minimal pushes here and just lead changes across the board. UCF Knights probably just heard it was like, no, not really. We're going to get 2 power clams in. That's a really solid push overall, just clearing out all that space that they need. The bubble was there to help protect Ego, just get a few more slashes in. And we did see Peace trying to catch the rest of Arcaley by surprise, gets punished for it along with Ego as well. But what we see from distance, another Zuka shot lands, just flying Zuka's. Peace's jump is going to get punished on top of it. And awesome, the rest of Arcaley now regain some ground. They got a lot of power clams in available, but they have to just be able to win out the fights. They do take out Ego, but it costs them 2 members of their own. Vessel is able to get 1 power clam in. They just need the other power clam in for the lead change if they want to do that. They may just have to wisely retreat at this point in time, realizing, all right, rest of Central Florida is about to respawn. We don't want to take any chances. We got to keep this clam available if we can help it and live and fight for another time. Fusion, though, Arcaley was able to retake some of the ground that they needed.
Yes, they were. They were able to regroup into mid, and my god, yeah, Ego is going absolutely insane on the enemy team. Brioche going to be the sole member to survive, but that's all they're going to need to get super jumps back in. And Brioche defending that jump with their very life. They're able to... Wow, the Zuka does not get the pick on that splash. Now, I could have sworn it was gonna, but Arcaley still hanging on despite that devastating triple coming out from Ego. Arcaley, again, because they did not suicide that power clam in, they have some control in mid, but they do not have the lead. So with time running out here, they're going to need to make a big play. Brioche stuck over on that left side, baits the blaster over, not able to find anything. They're going to have to jump out. Again, this could go either way. Time is ticking down. Arcaley seems to be slowly but surely gaining some ground. Ego finds 1, but that's not going to be enough. This blaster, yeah, another so important fight. UCF is going to come out on top, and this is looking dangerous. UCF looking to put this game away.
How did the Zukas just not land when they needed to against Asheville, who had a power clam on the board ready to go? That's ultimately the biggest surprise there. And Arcaley, but at least the Zukas deter them for just a little bit more. But they need a little bit more firepower. Ego going down is going to be critical. That may have opened just enough of the door here for Arcaley to move up ahead. But Brioche is not able to find any openings. They lose 2 of their own. The triple splashdown secures the wipeout, and that will be that. Central UCF Knights will be able to hold on very well. They may just get the power claim in to just absolutely be sure that there's no push available. Of course, they're not going to get the flashy points on the board. That football's just going to be stuck where it stands. Central Florida, UCF Knights rather, will win this one 2-0. Now they got a matchup against Old Bay Brigade in Grands.
Yes, they do, and my god, yeah, we can see them just moving together as a team. You can see how quickly they're able to really move up, especially when you have something like that Decavitator with the giant hitbox and the blaster to really pair up with it. Some nice play coming out from UCF. We saw at the very, very end there, Arcaley looked like they had something going, but they were not able to find the picks they need. The triple splashdown, living up to its name. Getting 3 picks, and that really put that game away. So excellent work from UCF Knights, and they are going to be facing Old Bay Brigade.
Battle between University of Maryland and Central Florida for qualifier for this qualifier here. Of course, there will be a 5th one later in the month, but of course the goal now is the 4th. And UCF Knights, by the way, I was wondering why I was remembering some inklings of the team, and I might have saw a few of their games where Ego was just going nuts there on that decav, and Ego was just on a mission themselves. They got a lot of solid value with the decavitator there. So hey, UCF Knights now looking to see, which by the way, I got word on this one here, Fusion, looking to get their second qualifier win. They won qualifier 2, which I also happened to watch there as well. So this is going to be very familiar ground for UCF Knights and Old Bay Brigade, and Old Bay Brigade will try to deny that second qualifier win for UCF Knights and get one for themselves. At least that's the story.
Yeah, Old Bay Brigade, they've been looking pretty strong in this tournament, but have they qualified for the final event at this point? I need to check.
There's still one more qualifier left to go. The qualifier 5 will be later in the month. You guys will need to tune in for that one there. So if we do have, while we are getting ourselves situated for grand finals coming up here, I'm also joining the gang of. I'm also joining you here for this one. Yeah, from what we have with our information here, Fusion, they are fourth. If everything ends here before qualifier 4 was all pretty much settled and all squared away, they will be the 4th seed there as well. So that's going to be intriguing to see if Old Bay Brigade is able to continue that run up ahead. Teams, by the way, ranked above them for the information. UCF Knights is number 1, PSU Blues 2. And VCU Big Fat Sea Cows. You might remember. You may have heard the Big Fat Sea Cows once upon a time at 3rd there as well. So these are some really solid teams that we're going to be seeing here as well. We do have our maps, by the way, for the teams that struck 2 out. I'll read them out here for y'all real quick. Central Florida, which I believe is the number 1 seed, they got to pick first. They decided to strike out Humpback Clan Blitz, and the Old Bay Brigade is going to be like, no, we don't want to do a Clan Blitz either. Let's just not do Museum. So this will be a very Clan Blitz-less map if that map rotation here for both teams coming into this best of 5, by the way.
Yeah, best of 5. I mean, we've seen a lot of very close games so far, so I think a best of 5 is going to be very nice to let these teams really play it out there. Halley was surprisingly close to taking a few of those games there, especially like at the end. That second game could have gone to Halley. If times had gone any different. I'm interested to see if Old Bay Brigade's really going to be able to put up a similar fight or even stronger. They did indeed make it to finals, and they're looking to kind of, put some extra marks on their record, and maybe do a little bit better than 4th seed, which is already great in this Division 1 circuit.
Yeah, and of course, goal gain to get as many points as you can on the board there for, of course, a better seed. And if Old Bay Brigade does real well, we could see them move up ahead. UCF Knights I believe is going to stand firm so far in top 4 by the end of this event. Anywho, so that's kind of how everything's kind of shaping up to be here in this Div 1. But of course, there's still one more qualifier here for seedings to kind of be set, but for both of these teams, they are just looking to see if they can just put a stronghold into finishing in that top 5 spot. So we get to see 2 really strong teams here in Grands, just adding more to their Division 1 resume for this season here, as we are being informed, by the way, they have jumped into weapon select. So quick map readouts for all of you guys. Game 1 is going to be Manta Maria Tower Control. Game 2 is Umami Zones. Game 3 is Rainmaker Scorch. If we do have to go to a Game 4, Inkblot Tower Control, and if we do have to go to a Game 5, Hagglefish Zones. But Fusion, we lead off with Manta Maria Tower Control. This should be an intriguing map, so to speak.
Yeah, this absolutely is. I mean, we've seen several bubble weapons coming out so far, especially ones that succeed in close range. Decavitator, as well as the roller that was coming out on the side of Old Bay Brigade. Those are going to be really important as we move into the street, especially. It's especially important to keep an eye on the blaster, who's going to be able to use that triple splashdown over the wall. And that could be very valuable for clearing off some space for weapons that typically don't have that option. So here we go. We're hopping right into it. We have got UCF Knights and Old Bay Brigade. Who is going to win this qualifier? Let's hop in.
let's go right into it. Both teams, by the way, we saw UCF Knights with the same comp from the semifinal set, and Old Bay Brigade's gonna try to run it back with almost a similar setup. So look out for Flavor with that roller there to see if they can get value. But UCF Knights may have other ideas right away. That value from the roller is gonna have to wait another time. That's gonna be 3 members down. By the way, Razor's gonna be the one lurking large. They're gonna trade with Peace there. Ego and UCF Knights will be able to get the first checkpoint, excuse me. And now Old Bay Brigade is at least able to hold them off for just a little bit longer. That tower is going to probably be abandoned for just a few quick seconds, as Astral's going to get punished, trying to get a little too opportunistic with the jump out, and that tower is going to slowly reset where it stands. All it is, Fusion, the first checkpoint cleared, 3 members down. Old Bay Brigade has a chance to respond.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Astral just had eyes for Flavor there. They found 2 very important picks on that roller, but, you know, having someone like Fell who's just able to stay alive and stay stable no matter what is super important. And on a weapon like Nautilus, they're really doing their best, finding 2 picks, just mowing down the competition here, just being that anchor, able to give your team those jumps is so important. But Astral, again, Charger, a lot more volatile than Nautilus, but Astral's been finding all the picks when they count, including 3 onto that roller. The clutch factor is real. UCF Knights is rallying behind it, able to move forward. The bubble's going to help clear some space as the blaster clears ledge. That's a huge pick. Peace able to find that one. Waiting for that tower to catch up, and now UCF hoping to get that first checkpoint clear. Ego's in the back alleys of Old Bay Brigade spawn. They find 2 picks before they're finally taken out. The roller answers back, but not enough to clear it.
Yeah, almost a lot of things that happened there. Peace, by the way, with that point sensor finding Razor, kind of gave the team the information there that Ego needed to realize, all right, there's going to be a couple members trying to go on the left hand side to surprise us. So I'm going to try to just dive in and to prevent that from happening. And it enables this push to go to 24 points remaining in a hurry there. I believe getting past Street on that push that exact same time. Excuse me. So. That's a great response right away from UCF Knights. Old Bay Brigade is going to go 3 down, and there's another opportunity for UCF Knights to just get to possibly make it into knockout territory right now, especially with Ego playing as aggressive as they are at that stage. But Flavor's going to try to deny that whichever way they can. They are going to get traded away. Speece is going to find the pick on top of it. Tower going to slowly reset. UCF Knights trying to play this one very aggressively still, and I don't blame them one bit. But it is currently standing into a neutral battle with UCF Knights finally going 3 down. Very much a bloodbath. Old Bay Brigade at least hold.
Yeah, Old Bay Brigade has been doing surprisingly well for losing that second checkpoint. Usually you can kind of snowball that into a win, but Old Bay Brigade has been doing a great job just kind of stabilizing. Oh man, yeah, from behind there's going to be the blaster. Do they know? I don't think they know. That's going to be 2 members down. Peace looking to clear up the entire team, but gets 180'd by the roller instead. So now that potential pincer is going to turn into a relatively neutral situation. Old Bay Brigade does end up losing some ground though as time moves forward, but still, UCF Knights has the lead, but the game isn't put away just yet. All it really takes is that second checkpoint being taken, and I don't think UCF Knights really wants to gamble at all to try and get a big push again. Here's Ego doing a lot of work inside the bubble, waiting their turn to try and get the picks, but nice play from Old Bay Brigade from Razor there, able to just wait out that decav and get the pick. At worst, you get the trade if you just wait for them to make their move. And now, here's the opportunity. Old Bay Brigade has an opportunity to get this checkpoint and get back the lead.
And Old Bay Brigade's time needs to be sooner rather than later, because UCF Knights will be content to just play as defensively as they can. But Old Bay Brigade still the fact that they've been able to hold themselves for such a good amount of time has been giving them an opening to work with here, and they may have found one just now. There's Flavor, by the way, getting the pick onto Peace. They're going to clear out the second checkpoint, and this could get out of control in a hurry if UCF Knights can't respond. This has to be their time. That's the roller. That's Flavor taking out Astral, and this could be the lead change here soon, which it will. 21 points and still rolling through. 3 members finally go down, but man, oh man, Old Bay Brigade held on at just the right moment. Razor might be able to hold GG strikes by themselves, and they do. Wow, what a great play from Razor at the end of it. And Fusion, it ends game 1 with Old Bay Brigade in the last push to kick off this Grands.
Wow, huge push coming off in the last 30 seconds of that game. Being able to get the roller, just making the jump from the tower onto the enemy's like window, able to get into spawn here. Yeah, here is the play. Especially when they don't know where you are, able to get a surprise pick really swings the momentum, and this is like the key spot. If you're able to get in between the enemy and the tower, you can just get that tower so many points, and that's exactly what Old Bay Brigade did. Nice play from Flaber there, as the tower was able to make its way all the way forward down into that pit. And I think a lot of that really came from, I think, like patient play. We kind of saw how Old Bay Brigade was grouping up in the enemy bunker. They got the push going, but they didn't just dive for the tower to try and get some extra points online. They knew they needed to really get into the enemy spawn if they wanted to win that. So they needed a big team effort there, and they got it.
Kind of came in at a great time too. Also, great position, there, from the roller as well, just allowing that to happen. But also bonus points that we didn't even see. There was Ego getting shut down in the critical seconds of that push alone. Which when we saw Ego just go off in just the previous map, and getting Ego out of there, which could have been problems for Old Bay Brigade if that DCAV was allowed to just cook, basically, would have been an issue there. But no, just able to shut them down. Shouts, by the way, to Racer holding that tower where it stood with the GG strikes. Very aggressive GG strikes that even worked out there too. Which that gets my personal favorite on top. Now the response for UCF Knights, if at this stage it will be Umami Zones being the second map there. So UCF Knights losing the lead in the last 30 seconds. Old Bay Brigade could have some momentum, but 2-zone map coming up here could be pretty close.
Yeah, could be very interesting here, especially, you said Umami, which pretty sizable map, I think. That being said, though, if you're able to get something onto top mid, like the Decavitator or the Blaster, you're able to really control a lot of space. So I feel like UCF Knight is going to be focusing on that, whereas Old Bay Brigade's going to be really playing the sides, playing pretty patiently, and maybe trying to get the roller up top. The Pencil Nautilus combo, the kind of double anchor, just gives you a lot of leeway to just be patient, and then sometimes you'll pop off and be able to really clear some space. And here we go, doing just that. Flaber and Fell circling around the right. They find 2 picks. It's just the Charger stuck in spawn, and really aggressive early opening and push to the enemy flat. Old Bay Brigade riding that momentum forward.
Riding that momentum with basically the same comp that won them the previous map so far in semifinals, and that first map in Grands, of course. Both teams sticking with the same comp, and Old Bay Brigade still holding us one very well, but they're with the roller and Flavor just going down on top of it too. Gives UCF Knight an opening to make this one count, but pieces are gonna go down. So does Ego, and Old Bay Brigade was able to retake that zone. That could have been so much worse for Old Bay Brigade if UCF Knights was allowed to get the other, but that was a very strong hold at that point in time. And these points are going to keep going down here, Fusion. 2 members going down, staggered respawns available. Ego's going to go down on top of it too. Flavor is just going to be an absolute menace. There's that bubble being popped. They did lose two members there, and in fact, this could actually just be the KO here coming soon. 15 points remaining and still counting. And Fusion, they could be looking towards the finish line, and especially with Ego going down on top of it, it might be the case. It looks like they may be the hold for just a few more moments. Nope, not anymore. That's going to be the 100-0. I was not expecting that. 2-0 lead for Old Bay Brigade.
One more pick for good measure. My goodness, I think you can see the strength of I think the comp and the way Old Bay Brigade is playing versus the way UCF's comp and strategy is playing out. Because Decav and Blaster, 2 absolute masters of, they're just trade demons, right? They intend to hit you with some damage, like no matter what, or if you blink for a second, you're just guaranteed to get hit. But we saw in the middle of the game, a little bit back, we saw Miku Plush as well as Fell kind of fending off the Decavitator just by their pure range and paint alone. The Decavitator, even if it's able to hit one of them, they're not able to get it. You can see how Fell's just able to back up, and just playing the range against Decav was absolutely huge. The Blaster moves in, but without the real paint, and with the short range that the Vanilla Blaster has, if people aren't willing to fight you like up close, it can feel like you're just running into a brick wall. And I feel like Old Bay Brigade has just been putting that up, especially even the Roller, the scrappy close range fighter, pops up the bubble, and suddenly it's a lot more difficult for UCF Knights to fight. So Old Bay Brigade on the verge of a qualifier victory here as they're up 2-0. Do you think they're going to continue riding the momentum, or do you think that UCF Knights is going to wake up and really turn it around, Kim?
If this is the time for UCF Knights to wake up, it has to be now. I think Old Bay Brigade, if we look at the raw numbers, by the way, this could be their time to shine because they have a 100% win rate in Rainmaker across all the qualifiers so far. This could be a very huge uphill battle. Right? No, wait. Okay, hold on. Go.
Okay.
Hi,
Hear me out.
Yes.
Flavor, I know, plays Sploosh-O-Matic like more than as a joke, and I know Miku Plush plays Blop more than as a joke. So I trust and I believe. This is like the best map for Hammer in the game. So we'll see. I'm treating this as a serious counterpick and not a joke, especially when Flavor's going to be able to pull out the Hammer just to outrange Decaf and find a pick as if it's Ingzuka. Okay, Old Bay Brigade getting a little bit excited with the momentum they have. But going 3 members down doesn't look great, as Razor's just going to opt to dive it into a pit, try and stall for as long as they can.
I think that took me a quick second to realize where all the humor was. I'm like, oh, right, that's where Old Bay Brigade decides to just... Of all the times to do it, it's apparently now in a blah-blah or Sploosh-O-Matic situation, so I guess they got something ready to go. You mentioned before, we could treat it as a serious counterpick. The point I was going to continue on, by the way, map 2 was a 0% win rate for Old Bay Brigade in Umami Zones. They got their first win there, and it's a 100% win rate for Old Bay Brigade in Rainmaker, so UCF Knights would have to do the unthinkable and give them their first loss to stay alive in the qualifiers there. I'm still intrigued to see how the Sploosh and Blob value is going to play out, because yeah, we saw Flavor just with the Sploosh just deliver absolute value with the double that they had. And UCF Knights, by the way, already going 2. They picked up this Rainmaker. There is the chase from Flavor, not able to get them in time. This Rainmaker does successfully reset. They will get them at the end of it. Rainmaker, where it stands right now is, ignore me for a second, it's the Flavor show. That's a triple, by the way, from Flavor.
Oh... Make that a quad, and they have things like the Blob to keep up the paint to watch the top right. The Rainmaker's running forward all the way into that final stretch, and this might not be it. Yep, the pop is going to go in favor of Old Bay Brigade. They get a few points running straight into the splash wall. Nicely placed, but it's still not over. Flavor running that Rainmaker. It's going to be the final stretch. They take them out, but not before. They get it all the way down to 1, and now UCF Knights is going to have to do the unthinkable. Knocking out on Scorch Gorge Rainmaker is nigh impossible. So we'll see how they're going to be able to do it. Eggo's going to have to really pop off aggressively. That's what they were looking to do, but unfortunately not able to wait enough. Actually, it's Peas popping off for that splashdown. A quad or a wipeout is going to open the way. The Rainmaker gets grabbed, but without anybody in the spawn, Old Bay Brigade can afford to play pretty patient. They can play very far back, and as long as nobody gets up here, they can play that defense. UCF Knights needs to really make an aggressive move to make things happen, and Eggo attempts it, but is going to get shut down. Now, Old Bay Brigade just stable in their defense. They can just wait out the Rainmaker unless UCF Knights really makes them pull the trigger.
You've noted it already. It was just nigh impossible. Now it's the unthinkable here for UCF Knights to just be able to get any semblance of the KO there. It's going to be Old Bay Brigade with the wipeout for sure. 1 point remaining there is such a tall task. But we saw something that was almost developing very well from UCF Knights on top of it. Able to take out three by themselves there, but they needed to find the openings. And you've exactly noted that Old Bay Brigade will not take any chances. There's no reason really to take any chances there as well. You gotta let UCF Knights come to you at this stage when you already have such a huge lead, and and they're understanding that very well. So it's gonna be a minute and 15 seconds of Old Bay Brigade just trying to play super defensively, I'd imagine. Eggo is just looking for the pop-offs right now. This could be the great time for this to happen. Eggo gets 2 by themselves, but it's actually just Eggo alive as the rest of UCF Knights are done. This is a delayed wipeout. Attempt number 2 or even number 3 is denied. and Old Bay Brigade could hold for 55 more seconds. Even look for the solve there if they're looking to be opportunistic, but I imagine this is just going to be a very strong defensive hold.
Yeah, 45 seconds. Yeah, this could... I feel like Old Bay Brigade may end up kind of playing a little bit far back, allowing UCF Knights to get that Rainmaker and just kind of hinging on the fact that they can hold on. But actually, Flavor, the Sploosh is in mid. They're sharking. They find a pick, looking for even more. They actually have a hammer, so they're able to really fight at close range. Peace spots them out, and that's going to allow Astral to find the pick. But still, Old Bay Brigade staying at least 2 or 3 members up consistently. They have a lot of leeway to work with here. They're just watching the time tick down, hoping to get their qualifier victory. Now, time ticking down. UCF Knights needs to make a move. They need to grab the Rainmaker, but oh no, 2 members go down. The strikes are guarding. This is going to be a victory. Old Bay Brigade sweeps UCF Knights and takes home qualifier for victory of CCA Circuit.
Congratulations, Old Bay Brigade. We see you there. We see your play right away. Let's be real, Fusion, that was almost the Flavor show. Game 3 Sploosh. Everything Sploosh was almost enabled by that, and the rest of the team pretty much followed suit. At that point, when you kind of, both of us probably were thinking the same thing, that 1 point remaining, at this point you just almost almost expect the victory to just be near guaranteed, unless they just do something really silly, such as trying to get a little too close to the sun and trying to go for the KO themselves or the wipeout themselves. But it's smart for Old Bay Brigade to play as passively as they did, as we get to see pretty much the last attempt from UCF Knights to get anything going there. But basically, all blue paint, nothing more really to add other than just taking out 2 members at a pretty good time to just at least fully secured. Trip strikes, almost a GG strikes being thrown into the Rainmaker to absolutely be sure that there was no chance for a contest. And wow, that was a great set. That was actually a really strong set for Old Bay Brigade. Also keeping up their 100% win rate, by the way, so far in Rainmaker in these qualifiers. So it came up at just the right time, and Old Bay Brigade can celebrate a nice little qualifier 4 victory for themselves.
I do wonder how much of their Rainmaker victories are Blob Sploosh victories, because I mean those are Rainmaker weapons, let me tell you, and they really rode them to victory here. Especially, I mean, UCF Knights, we saw them doing a great job, just playing super aggressively as a team, but Old Bay Brigade kind of was able to like change their style up going into that last game, like completely different sort of team composition. And yeah, Old Bay Brigade is certainly going to be a threat to watch out for going into the final events. If they qualify, it seems like they are certainly on the path to qualify.
Yeah. They should be on the path to qualifying for that final event here too. One last thing, Fusion, before we go sign off for this event here. I'm gonna read you some win rate stats because these are, by the way, pretty stunning. So it made sense that they banned that their Clan Blitz bans for Old Bay Brigade. UCF was a little bit surprising, but they probably just didn't want to deal with humpback clams. It's a very odd map combination overall. But if I'm looking at the win rate, it's 100% in Rainmaker. Then it's 62.5% in Tower Control, which they won in Game 1. Then, of course, 38.5% win rate in Clams. Zones, the mode itself was a 16.7% win rate. And they did that to UCF Knights in Game 2. I don't know. This was definitely Old Bay Brigade's time to shine there, Fusion. I think it really started to show in so many spades there. By the way, shout out to Hoken for feeding us the stats here today. But I think we're gonna wrap this one up here, Fusion. Congratulations once again to Old Bay Brigade here winning the qualifiers. But we must, Fusion. Where can the people find you?
You can find me Apifusion on Blue Sky. Where can they find you, Kyon? It's been a pleasure as always.
Oh yeah, always. I always love working with you here, Fusion. You can find me, of course, on Blue Sky, Kyon2570. You'll also find me on Twitch if you ever need it. By the way, shout out to Vapor, our amazing producer here as well, that's taking you guys through. But that is a presentation of the CCA Qualifiers 4 with Fusion, Vapor, and myself and the rest of CCA staff. This has been a presentation of CCA Qualifier 4 here in CCA. Of course, we got the 5th qualifier later in the month you guys got to watch. So until then, have yourselves a great rest of your weekend. We will see you guys next time.